The Indians come in with a record of 80-59. The Indians in second place in the division. They trail the front-running Minnesota Twins by 6.5 games, but more importantly, they trail the Minnesota Twins by 7 games in the loss column. And boy, the Indians have put themselves in a really tough spot. 23 games left, and you're 7 games in back of the Twins in the loss column. That is going to take a monumental collapse by Minnesota and almost a no margin for error run by the Cleveland Indians. They do still play each other 6 times, but that, as we have seen in the past, is not the end all. You've got to be able to keep winning and hope the Twins somehow lose some games along the line. So the Indians still have a shot, but right now the wild card scenario is much more realistic. And when you look at the wild card scenario, right now Oakland has 58 losses, and Tampa Bay and Cleveland have 59. So that's an incredible logjam among those 3 teams for 2 wild card spots. Meanwhile, Chicago, it's wait until next year for the 6th year in a row. They are 61-77, and they find themselves 25 games out of first place. The umpiring crew tonight: Brendan Miller will make the calls behind home plate. Chris Conroy will ump at first. Mark Carlson, the crew chief, at second. And Trip Gibson is the third base umpire. 325 down the lines, 370 to left center, 375 to right center, and 400 feet to dead center. The 19-foot wall in left center and center field, and then the rest of center field to right field's corner. The wall is 9 feet high. This will be a much easier night to pitch. As far as we saw last night, there were balls that didn't even seem to be hit all that well that left the yard because of the warmth and the humidity and the breeze blowing out. No humidity tonight, much cooler, and that breeze blowing in, which is certainly advantageous for the starters, Shane Bieber and Ivan Nova. Bieber, the right-hander, to face Leury Garcia. The wind and tonight's first pitch. It's up and away, ball 1. And we are underway here at the corner of Carnegie in Ontario. 68 degrees, the game time temp. The wind and the 1-0 pitch. And Garcia with a liner back up the middle, base hit center field. And he is 5 for 10 in this series. So 2 pitches in, and the White Sox, who had the stunning comeback last night, get a leadoff single from Leury Garcia. Jake Bowers is in left field tonight. It'll be Oscar Mercado patrolling center, and Yasiel Puig is in right. Carlos Santana at first. Jason Kipnis back on the field, the wrist allowing him to play tonight. He's at second. Frankie Lindor at short. Yu Chang at third, and Roberto Perez is doing the catching. Tim Anderson, the right-handed hitting shortstop, at the plate, and Bieber's pitch, and it misses high, ball 1. Shane Bieber, fastball, curve, slider, changeup. He is 6'3", 200 pounds, 24 years old. The most valuable player in the Major League All-Star game held here in July. Now the 1-0 pitch, and Anderson swings and pops it up. Foul ball near the White Sox dugout. First baseman Carlos Santana made the catch, bumped into the dugout screen and hung on. And Anderson fouls out for out number 1. That'll bring up Jose Abreu, the right-handed hitting first baseman. Abreu hitting .280, but he leads the White Sox in home runs with 28 and is second in the American League in RBIs with 104. 1 out, 1 on, no score. First inning here off the shores of Lake Erie. Jose Abreu is trying to accomplish something that's only been done by 3 other players in Chicago White Sox history, and that's get 30 homers, 100 RBIs, 4 different years. The pitch, and he takes it's in there a strike. Frank Thomas, Paul Konerko, and Maglio Ordonez. They are the only White Sox to ever have 4 seasons with 30 homers and 100 RBIs. Jose Abreu will join that trio when he hits 2 more home runs. That's how good he has been in his time since getting out of Cuba. Quick throw to first, and Bieber almost picked him off. Garcia lucky to get back safely. Garcia with 15 steals. He's been caught 4 times. And there's not a starting rotation in baseball that has better pickoff moves than the Indians' rotation. And all of them are right-handed. And the guy with the best move of them all pitches tomorrow afternoon, Zach Plesac. No score, Sox batting, first inning, 1 out, 1 on. Abreu has played the other way toward right, fairly deep in the Indians' outfield, even with that pretty significant breeze blowing in. Bieber comes set at the belt. And the 0-1 pitch. And it's upstairs a ball, 1-1. Shane Bieber's had a tough time with the White Sox this year. He faced them in back-to-back starts in May. Lost one game, had a no decision in the other, and had a 5.68 ERA in those 2 starts against Chicago here in 2019. Now the next delivery, swing and a miss, chased a slider in the other batter's box. Good sliding stop to his right by Perez, and the count 1-2. On the year, Shane Bieber, 12 wins, 7 losses, 6th best earned run average in the American League at .327. This is his 29th start. He's leading the majors in complete games with 3 and shutouts with 2, and he averages 6 innings per start. Now the 1-2 to Abreu. Strike 3 called. He knew it. Locked him up with a curveball. And Abreu out looking for out number 2 and strikeout number 1. Shane Bieber is averaging 11 strikeouts and only 2 walks per 9 innings. And he's been about as consistent as any pitcher in the game. And that's why manager Terry Francona compares Shane Bieber in every facet to a young Corey Kluber. And there's not a better or higher compliment than you get from a manager than when you get compared to a 2-time Cy Young winner. Here's Yoan Moncada, throw to first, back with a dive, Garcia. Tito compares Shane Bieber in his work ethic to Corey Kluber, which is second to none, his demeanor, his poise. Obviously, the talent is there. No score, first inning, 2 down. The pitch to Moncada, and he shows bunt, and it's high, ball 1. The Indians infield pulled around to the right. No shift, but pretty close to it. Third baseman Yu Chang midway between second and short, even with the bags. Frankie Lindor, the Indian shortstop, just to the left of second base. Moncada wants to lay down a bunt. The Indians will say fine. Moncada hurts you when he swings the bat, not when he bunts. The pitch, and it's in there, a strike, 1-1. Moncada batting .288, 22 homers, 65 RBIs. And boy, he has done well against Shane Bieber. Lifetime against Bieber, he's gone 5 for 9 with a couple of home runs. Switch hitting third baseman, batting left-handed. Now the 1-1. Missed outside, 2 balls and a strike. Garcia led off the game with a single. He's still at first. 2 down in the first, no score. A cool 68 degrees here tonight at game time, and that's brought to you by Perfect Power Wash. Perfect results guaranteed. Now the 2-1 pitch. Outside, 3-1. Visit perfectpowerwash.com. Get your quote today. Crowd decked out in their red Carlos Santana giveaway jerseys. Good-looking jerseys, thanks to the great folks at Medical Mutual. No score, Sox batting first inning, 2 down, runner on, 3-1. And it's swung on, hit pretty well toward left center. On the run, making the catch is Mercado, the Indian center fielder. Got a good...
AM 1100 can now be heard on 106.9 FM.
No scores. We go to the bottom half of inning number 1, and the Indians are going to face a guy that has really pitched well against them this year, Ivan Nova. He is a big right-hander, 32 years of age, 6'5", 250. Nova fastball, sinker, curve, slider, changeup. First pitch, Frankie Lindor takes, and it's down and away, ball 1. Lindor, switch hitter, batting left-handed. Led off the game last night with a home run. Now the 1-0 pitch, and Lindor sends one in the air, foul behind the plate. McCann comes to the screen, but he's out of room, and the count 1-1. Eloy Jimenez is in left field tonight. Leori Garcia in center, and Daniel Polka in right. Jose Abreu at first, Yomer Sanchez at second, Tim Anderson at short. Yohan Moncada is at third, and the catcher, James McCann. Frankie Lindor, just 2 for 14 lifetime against Nova. The pitch, and it's up high, a ball, 2-1. Ivan Nova, in 3 starts against the Indians this year, is 1-1 with a 2.14 ERA. He delivers. Lindor takes in tight, 2-1. And Nova has really had a nice season for the White Sox. Lately, he's pitched about as well as anyone in the American League. The 2-1 pitch, Lindor fouling it at the plate, 2-2. If you look at Ivan Nova in his last 8 starts, and that goes back to July 22nd, he has a 156 earned run average. That's the 4th lowest earned run average in the American League and in the major leagues as well. The pitch. Lindor chops one back up the middle. It kicks something and flattens out and scoots into center field for a base hit. Anderson and Sanchez were both converging up the middle on that ball that was trying to bounce through, and it hit something and flattened out and scooted into center field for a leadoff base hit. Might have hit the lip of the grass right before the skin portion of the infield. And that's a fortuitous non-bounce. Took away any chance the middle infielders had to maybe make a play on Frankie Lindor, who has a leadoff single. Here is the center fielder, Oscar Mercado. He is hitless in his last 11 at-bats. Rookie center fielder, right-handed batter. No score, first inning. Lindor threat to run with 20 steals. Nova's ready. The pitch. Mercado with a line shot to left. Down the line it goes. Takes a bounce up against the wall. Mercado's on his way to second with a double. Lindor will stop at third. And Oscar Mercado rifles his 20th double of the year down the left field line, and that'll snap an 0 for 11 drought. And the Indians have a chance for a big first inning, and they haven't had any big innings all season long against Ivan Nova. And boy, if you get an opportunity, you better capitalize early against this guy before he settles in. And on Jersey giveaway night, why wouldn't the potential man of the hour be stepping to the plate in inning number 1? Ironically, it's the Carlos Santana red jersey giveaway. The Indians are wearing their white jerseys. White Sox put 3 on the right side of the infield. Santana batting left-handed. No score, Tribe threatening in the pitch. And it's off speed outside, a ball. Moncada, the third baseman, is even with the bags. And at third, he's about 20 to 25 feet off the line. The other 3 infielders playing back on the right side of the infield. Second and third occupied, nobody out. The pitch, a swing and a miss, throw to third. Lindor diving back safely. Oh, he almost strayed too far, and McCann nearly picked him off going back to third. So the Indians still with runners at second and third, but with nobody out, the count on Carlos Santana, a ball and a strike. Santana does have good numbers against Nova. 2 career homers and a .389 lifetime average against the right-hander. The next offering, up and in, ball 2-1 as Santana yanked his head out of there. Light breeze blowing in tonight. It's kind of dropped off a little bit since the game started. It's still blowing in, but not as significantly as it was in the top of the inning. Santana awaiting the 2-1 pitch. Here it comes. Inside, he missed with it, 3-1. So Ivan Nova, who's been so good his last 8 starts, has really put himself in hot water now. A 3-1 count on one of the best hitters in the game. And Indians at second and third with nobody out in this scoreless first inning. Nova's ready. Checks third, the pitch. A swing and a ground ball to first. And fielded by Abreu, and Lindor had to stay at third. It was hit so sharply. Abreu kept checking him and then kind of shuffled over to first and stepped on the bag to retire Santana. And the runners have to stay put. So Ivan Nova gets a big out there, sharply hit, but right at the first baseman. Here is Yasiel Puig, the right-handed hitting right fielder. He is in a 3-for-28 slide. Now the White Sox again play the infield back, normal depth. 2 on each side of the infield. Lindor at third. Mercado at second. No score. 1 out here in inning number 1. Nova from the set. Very deliberately comes to the plate. And it's in there, a called strike. 0-1 the count. Yasiel Puig on the year. Now batting .253, 24 homers, and 73 RBIs. And the Indians need Puig to get going again. In the absence of Jose Ramirez, Puig's importance climbs. Now the 0-1. Swung on, ground ball to short. That'll get a run home. And Mercado's running himself into an out at third. So Puig is on at first on a fielder's choice. Lindor scores, and inexplicably, Oscar Mercado goes from second to third and is easily out. Second out in the inning, but you also take yourself out of scoring position. This is a bad base running mistake by Oscar Mercado. So Puig gets his 74th RBI on the ground ball to short. He is on with a fielder's choice. And boy, those are the kind of mistakes right now in September in a playoff chase you can't afford. Here's Jason Kipnis, the left-handed hitter, back in the lineup. White Sox put 3 on the right side of the infield. 1-0 Cleveland, tossed to first, and Puig back standing. Jason was saying that wrist is feeling much better. Took 3 days off. He'll have to fight that tendonitis the rest of the year, but he said, I can swing the bat now much more normally. It'll still hurt on a swing and a miss. The pitch, and it's on the outside corner, a strike. The key for him is to be able to swing the bat and still drive the ball, especially the other way. Kipnis batting .247, 16 homers, 62 runs batted in. 1-0 Cleveland, first inning. Toss over to first, Puig back. Puig does have 17 steals. Jason Kipnis is 6 for 12 lifetime against Nova. Nova has faced the Indians 6 times in his career. 3 wins, 2 losses, a .329 ERA. The big right-hander from the set, and the 1-strike pitch to Kipnis. And he sends a ground ball sharply hit on 1 hop to the second baseman. Sanchez gliding a step to his left to field it and throw him out. And what could have been a big inning.
Lyman Dave Wollabon, WTAM 1100.
Well, James McCann had a huge 3-run home run in the 8th inning last night to tie the game. And the White Sox catcher, having a heck of a year, will lead off the 2nd inning with the Indians on top 1-0. Detroit just cut bait with McCann. They non-tendered him, and a great pickup by the White Sox. And McCann has responded with his best season, batting .274, 16 homers, 53 RBIs. Righty-righty matchup. Shane Bieber's first delivery, and it's in there called strike. Hey, to get your best deal on any new or used car, go to Sunnyside Toyota in North Olmsted, or you can check out all of their inventory, their current specials. They're all online at sunnysidetoyota.com. McCann takes high, ball 1-1.
Time I'd run into McCann in the White Sox clubhouse before the game, and he was saying he met Carlos Carrasco at the All-Star game here. And it made for a little bit different at-bat, that huge at-bat that he had late. He said once you dig in, and he...
Here's the 1-1, and McCann takes outside 2-1.
I mean, it's competition once you dig in, but he said the entrance by Carrasco, the way the inning was building, when he got to home plate, he said to Roberto Perez, hey, this is pretty special right here. And then it's time to go to work, and obviously had great success.
The 2-1, down low 3-1. Yeah, these guys are humans. I mean, and it's a brotherhood when you talk about major league players.
Yeah, they're fully aware of the situation last night. But it's amazing. Once it's go time, it's right back to the at-bat.
The pitch, hit foul upstairs, full count. Yeah, it'd been nice if he'd had a tear in his eye and they didn't see the breaking ball. When you ran into him, did you hurt him?
No, he took the charge.
Okay. Much like Junie Melendez.
Yes. But you mentioned the season he's having. He said sometimes a change of scenery does you well. And he said, like a lot of players for the White Sox, just gaining more experience helps.
Now the wide end payoff pitch. Swung on, fouled back, still a full count. Now this guy's used to winning. He came out of the University of Arkansas, where they have built a college baseball juggernaut. Pretty depressing nowadays in Detroit.
Yeah.
Chicago's still losing, but they're light years ahead of the Tigers in their rebuild. Now the windup and the 3-2. Bounced it in there all the way to the backstop, and Bieber walks McCann to start inning number 2. Tribe on top by a score of 1-0. Here's Eloy Jimenez, left-handed, or I should say the left fielder, who had 2 home runs last night and a double. If it weren't for Yordan Alvarez, the incredible rookie for Houston, this guy Jimenez would probably be the American League Rookie of the Year, but I don't see how he beats out Yordan Alvarez and what he's done.
The only thing I could think of is maybe not enough games for Alvarez.
Now the set, now the pitch. Swing and a foul upstairs. I think you also have to give Alvarez the benefit of the doubt. He's doing it in a winning scenario where there's a lot more pressure on him to deliver than there is for a ball club that is 16 games under. That's not to take anything away from Jimenez, but Alvarez is doing it in big games. That pitch outside 1-1. The other side of that coin is you could say, well, Alvarez has more protection and better players around him, but still, the White Sox players want to win, but if they lose a game, it's not costing them a playoff spot. Here's the set by Bieber and the 1-1 pitch. And Jimenez takes a strike on a fastball in the count 1-2.
You can make a case that Alvarez had to beat the door down to get up to the major leagues because they had some more experienced options if they wanted to go that route.
Not his fault they didn't call him up.
No.
Now the set by Shane Bieber and the 1-2 pitch to Jimenez. Breaking ball, and he drills it up the alley in right center. My goodness, he can hit a breaking ball. That'll go all the way to the wall for a double. Into third is McCann, and he'll be stopped there. Well, the one thing we have seen now, back-to-back nights, Jimenez, if you leave a breaking ball on the plate, he is going to punish it. And he took a breaking ball that hung and ripped it up the alley in right center field. And the White Sox have runners at second and third. And there is nobody out here in inning number 2. Indians with a precarious 1-0 lead. And here is Daniel Polka. The last time Daniel Polka got a base hit in the major leagues was April 17th against the Kansas City Royals. That's also his only hit in the majors this year. He takes up high, ball 1. Polka, who as a rookie had 27 home runs a year ago, Polka is 1 for 49 with Chicago this year. That one hit, April 17th against Kansas City. Now the 1-0 pitch. Down low, a breaking ball, and Bieber is scuffling here, throwing a lot of breaking balls that are either not strikes or hanging. The Indians have the corner infielders even with the bags, the middle infielders back, outfield around toward right, fairly deep, and Polka pops it up foul third base side out of play, 2-1. Polka, the little bit we have seen of him this year, saw a lot of him last year, but this year the little bit we have seen, and in particular in this series, he is chasing a lot of pitches out of the strike zone. And a lot of high fastballs that are not strikes. Hits are even at 2. Tribe clinging to a 1-0 lead. White Sox at second and third. Nobody out here in inning number 2. Bieber's ready. And the pitch. Just a little bit low. 3-1. At Everstream, the business-only fiber network, they believe business deserves better. Join the business-only fiber network. Everstream. Faster fiber. Better business. Now the set. And the 3-1. Swing and a miss. Full count. Boy, Polka really pulled off that fastball. Now the problem now, you're 1 for 49, and you're trying to hit 6-run homers every time you're up there. Now the payoff pitch. Tapped it foul at the plate. That was a defensive swing at a fastball that was just kind of like, please let me just get a piece of it to stay alive. And Polka's got big boy power. Mentioned last year, 27 homers on the big league level. This year in AAA Charlotte, he had 27. Now the 3-2 delivery. Swing and a foul back. Fastball was right around the letters. He fought it off. Still a full count. Polka came out of Georgia Tech, third-round pick by Arizona. Traded to Minnesota for catcher Chris Herman, and then claimed off waivers from the Twins after the 2017 season. Had that really good rookie year a year ago. The pitch to him. He swings and misses. Got him with a breaking ball. So big strikeout for Bieber. He gets Polka for the first out in the second. Second strikeout. Runners stay at second and third. Now 1 down in a 1-0 Tribe lead. Here's Yolmer Sanchez. Switch hitting second baseman, batting left-handed. This guy hitting .257, couple of homers, 34 RBIs. He'll swing it from the left side against Bieber. Doesn't really matter, though. Shane Bieber, lefties bat .216, right-handers bat .217. Again, corner infielders cut of the grass, middle infielders back. And Sanchez drives one to deep left, but slicing foul, strike 1. Shane Bieber has not won a game since he beat the Twins on August 9th. But he's still pitching well. Last 4 starts, he's 0-3, but his ERA is .320. So he's doing his job. He's just not getting much run support. He comes set, and the 0-1 pitch. High, ball 1, 1-1. last Friday night in St. Pete. I mean, it was a tremendous 0-0 ball game until Tampa Bay finally got to him in the 7th. Now the 1-1 pitch. High, ball 2, 2-1.
You mentioned all those Kluber-like attributes that Bieber has. He is a competitor, and when he had to leave that game last Friday night, he was not happy to have to come out. He had thrown a bunch of pitches, but he was not happy to leave that game because he was still competing deep into it, and it was still close.
Now the 2-1 pitch. Sanchez fouling it to the upper deck, 2-2. Well, if the Indians are not able to catch Minnesota, and if they get into the wild card playoff game, boy, they would have two great options to start that game in Shane Bieber or Mike Clevinger. It's obviously a ways down, but something to start thinking about. The 2-2 delivery. Swing and a high fly ball that'll get a run home. Medium deep left center. Moving over to grab it is Mercado. He'll catch it. Both runners tag and move up. Game is tied as McCann scores on Sanchez's sacrifice fly to left center. And Jimenez also tagged and ended up going to third. So Sanchez, good at bat, 35th RBI. And we've got a 1-1 ball game. Go ahead run at third base. Now there are 2 men out. And the batter will be Zach Collins. He is batting 103 in his brief time in the big leagues. 3 for 29. Left-handed hitter, a catcher, DHing. Takes up high, ball 1. Collins in AAA batted 282. 19 bombs, 74 RBIs. Bieber comes set. The right-hander lets it fly. And the left-handed swinger lines one into right center, base hit. White Sox lead it 2-1. Collins has his 4th hit of the season and his 4th RBI. So the bottom of the order, 8 and 9, drive in 2 runs. 2-1 Chicago in the second. And pitching coach Carl Willis is already on his way out. So obviously Carl Willis has seen something that he doesn't like. And the White Sox continue to be a tough out for the Indians. White Sox have beaten the Indians 8 times this year in the 14 meetings. And now Chicago has a 2-1 lead here tonight in the second inning. In the top of the order, and Leori Garcia. Shane Bieber's already made 26 pitches this inning. Garcia started the game with a single to center. Bieber's ready. Here it comes. Swing and a foul back, strike 1. Breeze blowing in from right field, making it feel a lot cooler than 68 degrees. We're just not used to this weather again. 2-1 White Sox up, second inning. Runner on, 2 down. Bieber's next offering. And it's driven foul down the left side in the count 0-2. White Sox have had no issues with Shane Bieber this year, as they have scored 10 runs off of Shane Bieber in 14 innings. Now the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Ball got away from Perez. Kicks to his left. He picks it. He throws it. And he gets Garcia to end the inning. Now the Indians now have to go back to work. Trailing at 2-1. Wow, good to see Curtis Danberg's in the building. coming to work at 7:50 at night. What a job. Here's Franmil Reyes, the right-handed hitting DH. And he backs away from a breaking ball that hangs inside for ball one.
He'll be burning the midnight oil tonight, toiling away.
Yeah. He'll be in his footsies, snuggled in bed. The pitch swung on, hammered to right center, going back, and it's over the head of Garcia. Goes to the wall, and Garcia plays an out into a double. Leury Garcia looked like he was on a scavenger hunt going after that ball. He broke toward right center, and it sailed over his head by a mile. And Franmil Reyes, who smoked that baby, has his 16th double, and the tying run is at second base with nobody out here in the second inning. There is Jake Bauers, the left fielder.
Was that a bad route?
Well, not if you're an Indians fan. Bauers takes a backdoor breaking ball. It's outside for ball one. That ball ended up just to the right of center, and Garcia broke toward right center, and well, it was interesting. Here's the 1-0 to Bauers. A swing and a miss. Pulled the string 1-1. Well, Reyes smoked it, though. That's his 16th double, so the Indians have two doubles to single. They did not capitalize on their opportunity in the first inning. They had second and third with nobody out, and they only mustered one run, and that came on a ground out. Indians have got to start putting together some crooked numbers as the set by Nova, and it's up high, a ball, 2-1. Hey, visit your Northern Ohio Buick and GMC dealers. They've got exceptional offers on 2019 models. Jake Bauers has looked pretty good since coming back from AAA. On the year, .234, 12 homers, 43 runs batted in. Left-handed hitter. Nova's pitch, way outside and high, 3-1. This is not the same Ivan Nova that the Indians struggled against three previous times this year. Now, he may still find it, but right now, he is not locked in. And again, at the risk of being redundant, you just can't let these opportunities or Nova get out of this unscathed. What you're trying to do now is knock him out of this game early. The 3-1. Down low, and it kicked away from McCann. Ball four. And on the wild pitch that goes to the right of McCann, Reyes moves to third. So a walk and a wild pitch at one time. And now the Indians again have another opportunity for a big inning, as the Indians now have runners at first and third with nobody out. And Roberto Perez, who had 4 RBIs last night, singled in a run and blasted a 3-run homer. Chicago on top of the Indians by a 2-1 score, bottom of the second inning. Indians at the corners and nobody out. And let's see here what the Indians can accomplish. Nova's ready, and the pitch. And it's in there, a called strike. Roberto Perez, what a season. Batting .228, 22 homers, 54 RBIs. Roberto Perez had 21 home runs total in his first 5 years in the big leagues and has 22 now. The pitch, way outside, a ball, 1-1. He finally got an opportunity to be the everyday catcher. And he has responded with a career year. Now the set. Now the 1-1 pitch to Perez. Swung on, double play ball to short. Anderson to second one. Sanchez doubles up Perez. Reyes scores the tying run, but another big inning fizzles. No RBI. Game now tied at 2. Going to bring up Yu Chang with the bases empty, 2 down. Chang batting .185. One of the Indians hitting coaches, Victor Rodriguez, was saying tonight he really likes the potential of Yu Chang. But he said, it's like all young players. He said it's just a case now of getting comfortable, believing in yourself at the big league level. But he says, I think he looks so much better from when we have seen him earlier. The wind and the pitch. Chang takes a strike both in spring training and when he came up briefly in Baltimore. And Victor Rodriguez has already seen signs of improvement. The pitch. Swung on, tapped to the mound. Nova has an easy play. Underhand flip to first. And once again, the Indians have an out. It'll be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in Rick Renteria's lineup. Anderson, Abreu, Moncada. Indians and White Sox tied at 2, third inning. Anderson fouled out his first time up. Shane Bieber's pitch is waved at, strike 1. Whether you're shipping from Cleveland or through Cleveland, choose Global Transport, Northeast Ohio's preferred provider for transportation and logistics management. Bieber delivering, and it's downstairs, a ball, 1 strike. Bieber had to make 30 pitches in that last inning, so he needs a quick inning here. And very capable of it. The one thing about Shane Bieber, the 1-1, swing and a miss, 1 and 2. He strikes out 11 per 9 innings. He doesn't try to get strikeouts, which, like a Trevor Bauer, and I'm not trying to pick on Trevor, but Trevor could have a no-hitter going through 5. Here's the wind and the 1-2 pitch. And strike 3 called, locked him up with a fastball. 4th strikeout for Bieber. Trevor could have a no-hitter going for 5 innings, but if he had 2 strikeouts in those 5 innings, he'd be unhappy, and that's where he'd get in trouble, Rosie, hunting the strikeout. Bieber doesn't.
Bieber has all those strikeouts, but it doesn't seem like he drives up his pitch count getting there. He usually stays at a pretty good number to get deep into games.
Now here is Jose Abreu, struck out his first time up. He looks at a curveball strike. And again, that's not to disparage Trevor Bauer, but trying for all those strikeouts got him in trouble and ran up his pitch count. The wind and pitch, waved at, 0-2. Now Bauer pitching much better tonight. He hasn't given up any runs in the 4th inning, as Cincinnati leads Philadelphia 5-0 in the 4th. Bauer with an 8.40 ERA has 5 strikeouts pitching in the 4th inning. Here's the wind and the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Slider away. 8 up Abreu. 5 strikeouts for Bieber, including the last 3 White Sox hitters. 2 down in the 3rd, 2-2 tie. Here's Yoan Moncada. Lined out to center his first time up. Switch hitter batting left-handed. Minnesota Twins are playing at Fenway Park tonight. Then afterwards they'll go to Harvard and beat up some smart guys. And there's no score in that ballgame.
How do you like them apples?
I don't. Here's the pitch. Outside a ball.
What a great movie that was.
But if Mimi Driver's there, we'll drive over to Harvard and what the heck? Here's the 1-0. In there, strike 1-1. To think that movie basically launched the careers of Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, and the rest is history, isn't it? Now the 1-1 pitch, swung on, looping liner to left field, base hit. So Moncada has the White Sox 4th hit. 2-2 tie in the 3rd. Runner on. 2 down for James McCann, who walked and scored last inning. Right-handed hitting catcher.
Robin Williams was really good in that, too.
Yeah. Robin Williams was so talented from the standpoint you think of his comedic genius, but he could play, and did, any role in movies. That's just A shame that he lived with all those demons, and eventually it ended his life way too soon. McCann, 4 hits in his last 39 at-bats, but he had that big one last night, the 3-run homer in the 8th. Here is the set by Bieber and the pitch. And McCann checked on a high fastball. Ball 1. Tomorrow, Zach Plesac, Reynaldo Lopez. That's your matchup at 1:10. Then the Indians go to Minnesota, followed by a trip to Anaheim. Shane Bieber's ready. He delivers. A throw to first, and back with a dive is Moncada. Game tied up 2-2 here in the 3rd. Giancarlo Stanton has been cleared to face live pitching. Thank goodness, he's been out pretty much the whole year for the Yankees, and they haven't missed him at all. The 1-0. And it's high, evidently, 2-0. Luis Severino and Dylan Betances are going to pitch in the minor leagues Friday for the Yankees. Those two guys are way more important for the Yankees in October than is Stanton. They don't really need Stanton.
That's a tough decision, I think, on Stanton. How do you work him back in, and at the expense of who?
I don't know if you do, Rosie. The pitch, waved at, 2-1.
A pretty good thing going over there.
Giovanni Urshela is going to be activated Sunday. I mean, he needs to be playing, doesn't he?
You would think. The way he has gone this year.
Boy. Well, it's amazing what a $200 million payroll will get you. Now the set, now the 2-1 pitch. And before it's made, a throw to first. Back with the dive is Moncada. The Yankees have also done very well. Now, let's face it, DJ LeMahieu is a really good player. Everybody knew it when he came out of Colorado. How many teams could afford to give him $12 million for 1 year and bring him in as a utility guy? That's where that payroll makes a huge difference. Now the 2-1. Swung on, fouled upstairs, 2-2. They can also pay Stanton whatever he's getting. I think $29 million a year. And if he doesn't play, whatever.
Which is, yeah. It's crazy that they might make a decision toward the tail end of the season that doesn't include him on an everyday basis.
Indians, White Sox, 2-2 in the 3rd. That's the fun time of the year now to envision what will transpire here in about 3.5 weeks. The pitch, just a bit outside, full count. So Moncada will be off at first on the 3-2 pitch coming up to McCann. Tell you what would really help the Indians is if they go into that final weekend of the regular season and the Washington Nationals have wrapped up the #1 wild card seed. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on, tapped foul, third base side, still a full count. Yeah, might still have to face the likes of Strasburg and Scherzer and whatnot, but they only might be going a couple of innings or whatnot to tune up, because it sure looks like Washington is not going to catch Atlanta. I guess stranger things have happened, but there's 6.5 games in back of the Braves. But right now, they have a almost 4-game lead. Well, they do. 4-game lead in the loss column over the Cubs for the top wild card spot. The pitch, it's swung on, drilled to third, reaching down to backhand it and make the catch is Yu Chang. Another ball that was scalded by McCann, but right at the third baseman. It's a 2
on WTAM 1100.
Well, Ivan Nova has been on the ropes back-to-back innings and found a way to pitch himself out of what could have been implosions. Indians had first and third, nobody out in the second. Second and third, nobody out in the first. And had to hit ground balls to scratch out 1 run each inning. 2-2 tie. Bottom of the third, shift is on. Lindor batting left-handed. Indians leadoff hitter takes a strike. Stephen Grogg of Crestline is tonight's contestant in the Liberty Ford Grand Slam giveaway inning. Here's the wind and 0-1. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball down and in. 0-2. If the Indians hit a grand slam here in the third, then Stephen Grogg of Crestline wins the Ford Mustang convertible from Liberty Ford. Francisco Lindor, 4 for 9 in the series. Awaits the 2-strike pitch. Here it comes. And he lines one to center field, but right at Garcia, who makes the head-high catch. One down for Oscar Mercado, who doubled to left his first time up. Well, the one thing about Nova, he knows how to pitch out of the stretch. And he's 9-11 with a 4.48 ERA. The thing that's astounding, he's having a pretty good year despite the fact teams bat .294 against him. Nova has given up the second most hits in the major leagues and has the highest opponent's batting average in the major leagues. And yet, he works out of those jams. Oscar Mercado takes low, ball 1. So he doesn't panic when he gives up some hits, and he's shown that here tonight. 2-2 ball game, bottom of the third, the wind and the pitch. Mercado checks on a pitch low, 2-0. Indians need a spurt here, and it just can't happen this weekend in Minnesota. They need to get it going now. Here's the wind and the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, 2-1. Last time we saw the Twins up in Minneapolis, the Indians went in there and took 3 out of 4, and they left town tied for first place. Since that trip, the Indians have gone 9-12. Now the 2-1 checked on a pitch wide, 3-1. And while they've gone 9-12, the Twins have stayed hot. And the Twins have gone from that first place tie to a 7-game lead over the Indians in the loss column. Now the 3-1. Swung on a high bouncer wide of third, in the hole, grabbed by Anderson, tried to make a jump throw, couldn't get a grip on the baseball, so he jumped and hung on to the ball. So Mercado gets a base hit, and he is 2 for 2. So the point being is, come Sunday, there's only 3 weeks left in the season. So the Indians can't just go to Minnesota, sweep the Twins, and not keep winning elsewhere. You're running out of days.
And that's the key. You're running out of days. But look, we've seen the Indians put it together. They have the good starting pitching. And if they can get that to turn over a couple of times and have the rest of their game fall into place, they've been capable of going on some extended runs.
Carlos Santana hit a sharp ground ball out to first his first time up. He'll swing it left-handed. Sox put 3 on the right side of the infield. Mercado a threat to run. Game tied at 2. The pitch, there he goes. Pitch swung on and missed. And no, it's called a foul tick in and out of the glove of the catcher McCann, and so Mercado has to go back to first. Boy, he had such a great jump. If Santana had just taken that pitch, he's got a steal. But he foul tipped it into the glove. Well, I tell you what, on the transfers when the ball was dropped, that ball was not foul tipped in and out of the glove. It was foul tipped into the glove. And the only time it came out of the glove is when McCann went to transfer to his throwing hand. But Mercado is back at first, and it's an 0-1 count on Santana. Here is the set. Here is the 0-1 pitch. And before it's made, a throw to first. Mercado back with a dive. Mercado with a dozen steals. He's been caught 3 times. 2-2 tie. Indian Sox third inning. Mercado at first with 1 out. Breeze still blowing in. 68 degrees at game time. Now the 0-1. And it's low as he went with a changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike. Santana's career best, 34 homers, 87 RBIs. So he's had 32 homers, 84 RBIs. The next delivery goes to first, and back with a dive is Mercado. Now the 1-1. Outside, a changeup miss, 2-1. Carlos Santana's red jersey giveaway tonight, thanks to the good folks at Medical Mutual. They're hoping Santana can respond on his jersey giveaway night. The pitch to him, and it's down low. He didn't chase the changeup. 3-1. You know, it's that time of the year. The sun has set. Beautiful red sky over Lake Erie, beyond the ballpark. 8:15, and it's dark. Now the 3-1, and before it's made, a throw to first. Mercado dives back again. Nova has not struck a batter out. He has walked one. He's given up 2 runs on 4 hits. Nova is ready. And the pitch, runner goes. Santana fouling it upstairs. And Mercado gets his cardio in again, and we'll head back to first with a full count on Santana. And one would assume he'd be running here on a 3-2 pitch. 1 out, 2-2 tie, 3rd inning. One inning so far at Fenway, 1-0 Red Sox. Mookie Betts hit number 24. The pitch, runner goes, pitch swung on, hit pretty well to center. Garcia's going back, turns one way, now another. It hits behind him, bangs up against the wall. That'll score Mercado. Santana has broken the tie with an RBI double to dead center. And the Indians are back on top by a score of 3-2. Leori Garcia is going to be dizzy out in center field. Every line drive hit to him, he is turning every which way you can and not coming close. Santana now 85 RBIs, 28th double, and the Indians have scored a single run in each of the first 3 innings and are back on top 3-2. And here's Yasiel Puig. His grounder got a run home in the first. That's the first base hit to drive in a run for the Indians tonight. The other 2 RBIs, or the other 2 runs, I should say, came on ground balls. One a double play, so there was no RBI. Puig waves at the first pitch, strike 1. Three to 2 Cleveland, 3rd inning. Santana on his jersey giveaway night has broken the tie with a double to center. Nova is ready. And the 0-1. Inside, didn't miss by much. And the count 1-1. The way Leori Garcia goes back on a ball, you wonder why he doesn't play deeper. Because he does not go back on a ball very well at all. Now the set and the pitch inside a ball 2-1. This is not a good defensive outfield, especially tonight. Polka in right field, very limited. Jimenez, the rookie in left, not a good outfielder. And Leori Garcia is having a dickens of a time playing center field. 3-2 Indians, third inning. Runner at second, one out. The next offering. And it's swung and grounded sharply to third. Off the glove of Moncada, goes into foul ground. Base hit Puig. Puig hit it sharply down that third base line. Moncada went toward the line. Got a glove on it with a backhand, but couldn't field it. And Santana alertly stayed at second. And so Puig gets a base hit. And the Indians have runners at first and second. One out in the third, leading 3-2. And the entire White Sox infield will join the battery on the mound, as Jason Kipnis will be the batter. Rounded out his only time up. This White Sox team is the second worst defensive team in the American League. And if they want to take the next step to become a contender next year, if they don't get better defensively, they're not going to be a contender.
And unfortunately, in today's game, all you hear about in terms of young prospects is what can they do at the plate? What kind of offensive numbers can they put up? It doesn't seem as if the finished product defensively comes to the major leagues as often as you would think.
Here's Jason Kipnis, Nova, with the pitch. Kipnis popped it up on the infield. My goodness, has had a big out for Nova. Coming to the right of the mound, making the catch is the first baseman, Abreu. And boy, the Indians just are having a dickens of a time getting big hits here tonight, with so many opportunities in the first three innings to have big innings. The Indians lead 3-2, but this is a ball game that it feels like the Indians should lead 6-2, 7-2. Here's Franmil Reyes. He doubled over the head of center fielder Leori Garcia his first time up. Garcia went after Reyes' double like he was blindfolded. Reyes has really been on a tear. The pitch to him, and it's downstairs, a slider. Over the last 11 games, Franmil Reyes is hitting .378, 4 homers, 13 RBIs, and then you add a double to that tonight. 3-2 Cleveland. Santana at second, Puig at first, 2 down in the third. And the 1-0 pitch. Down low, 2-0. So you've seen it time and again, and not trying to be Debbie Downer. But these are the games in the 8th and 9th innings you start looking back. If you don't win, it's because you didn't take advantage of the early opportunities. Now the 2-0 to Reyes, and it's low, 3-0. He threw him a 2-0 changeup. You don't see a lot of changeups from right-handed pitchers to right-handed hitters. Reyes has the green light if he wants to take a whack here. Santana at second, Puig at first, 2 down. Indians up 3-2 here in the third. Now the 3-0. A swing and a line drive to center. Garcia going back, and he falls down, makes the catch. Leori Garcia. Somebody needs to hit him line.
Music Festival tomorrow on WTAN 1100.
Indians lead by a score of 3-2 as we reach the 4th inning here in downtown Cleveland. Tribe over the White Sox as Shane Bieber goes back to work for the Indians. Eloy Jimenez steps in, and he takes a pitch up and in for ball 1. Jimenez doubled his first time up and was part of a 2-run rally in the 2nd inning for the White Sox. Bieber's into the line. Here comes his 1-0 pitch. Fastball in there for a strike. And the count's now 1-1 on Jimenez. Jim Rosenhaus along with Tom Hamilton back with you at Progressive Field, downtown Cleveland. Stephanie Hagel, our on-site engineer here in the booth. And Brian Matze back at Command Center. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Way inside, and the count moves to 2-1. Jimenez, strong right-handed hitter. Here comes Bieber's 2-1 pitch. Swung on, and there's a drive to right center. Back on it, Mercado makes the catch just as he got to the warning track in right center. And there's one down here in the top half of the fourth inning. Daniel Palka will step in. Palka struck out his first time up. Hey, Tribe fans, next time you're here at the ballpark, make sure you enjoy mango and black cherry White Claw Hard Seltzer. It's available at the gluten-free stand in section 153. And also some of the other grab-and-go locations around the ballpark the rest of the season. That's White Claw Hard Seltzer, made pure. Here comes the pitch to Palka. Fastball, strike called on the inside corner. 0-1 the count on Palka. Now just 1 for 50 on the season. That's remarkable. Here's the 0-1. Swung on, driven foul and out of play into the upper deck on the left side. Boy, you would think at some point a flare would drop in or a dribbler on the infield would result in a base hit. Here's the 0-2. Called strike 3 on the outside corner at the knees. Palka caught looking. And that is part of the problem. That's his 21st strikeout, as he is now 1 for 51. He has struck out twice tonight. Bieber has struck out 6 in the game. And Yolmer Sanchez will bat. Tribe leading it 3-2. Indians baseball is always live with MLB At Bat. You can follow all the action with game tracking and live radio. Pitch to Sanchez in there for a strike. Download MLB At Bat today. It's your #1 app for Indians baseball. Now let's see if Bieber's starting to settle in now after allowing the 2 runs in the second. As Sanchez skies one to left, this will be an easy inning for Bieber. Under it, making the catch is Bowers, and the side is retired in order. Bottom third of the Tribe lineup due in against Ivan Nova, the veteran right-hander throwing for the White Sox tonight. Facing Jake Bowers here in the bottom of the fourth, and Bowers takes a pitch down low, ball 1. Tribe 3, White Sox 2. Indians with 3 runs on 6 hits and no errors. Here comes the 1-0 to Bowers. Fastball, strike called on the inside corner. 2 runs on 4 hits and no errors for the White Sox. Nova right back with a 1-1 delivery. Swung on, yanked foul down that first base side. And it counts now 1-2 on Jake Bowers. Walked his first time. Indians have scored single runs in each of the first 3 innings so far. And the White Sox getting their 2 runs in the top half of the second. Shift is on for Bowers. 3 on the right side of the infield. The 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Poured a fastball right in there at 92 miles an hour, and Bowers took it for a strike. So he's a strikeout victim. That is the first for Ivan Nova tonight. Doesn't strike out many, under 6 a game, or every 9 innings anyway, and puts the ball in play, and the defense gets the job done behind him on most nights. Roberto Perez, the batter, bounced into a double play his first time up with a run scoring back in the second inning. 3-2, Tribe in front. Here's the pitch, and Perez waves at it for strike 1. Get your injury report this half inning, brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, a proud partner of the Indians. Call them at 1-800-ELK, Ohio. They protect every client every day. Here's the 0-1. Change up, down low, 1-1. for the Indians, the Columbus Ball Club in the postseason starting tonight. The 1-1 swung on. There's a high pop-up to shallow right center. Charging in, Garcia still coming, and he can't get to it. It drops beyond his reach. What in the world is going on out there? That was a pop-up to shallow right center. Palka was nowhere to be found, the right fielder. Garcia went across on that ball and almost was veering back toward the wall, and that ball dropped in shallow right center. He made a diving attempt, but by that time it was too late. Boy, that young man is having a rough night in center field. It is just not going well. And Perez is at first base with a single. Indians with a one-out base runner here in the fourth inning. There's a swing and a line drive, left side, base hit, Yu Chang. Perez moves up to second. Chang's aboard. Oh, and the fans love him. I mean, from his first at-bat here in Cleveland, they have the Yu chant out. Anytime he does anything remotely good, and that time a single, and they give him the Yu chant on his way to first base. That's good stuff. All right, top of the order for Francisco Lindor. Again, Indians have scored at least one run in each of the first three innings. Single runs in those first three innings, and we'll see if they can tack on here in the fourth. Already leading 3-2. On that injured list for the Tribe, Tyler Naquin, knee surgery coming on that right knee. Jose Ramirez already had surgery on that right wrist, the hamate bone removed. And it remains to be seen if Ramirez can come back this season. If he does, most likely postseason. Here's the pitch, and Lindor takes it down low for a ball. Corey Kluber trying to work his way back. Tom and Tito talking about that on the manager's show tonight. Still a ways away for Kluber, but no one giving up hope yet that maybe he helps later on. We'll see. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Strike called on the outside corner, and it's 1-1. Obviously, a frustrating time for the two-time Cy Young Award winner, working so hard to get back from the broken right arm, only to see an oblique injury crop up in what looked to be his final rehab start before returning to the Indians. So hopefully he's able to move past that at some point in time. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball down low. 2-1 to count. You know one thing, he will be as diligent in that rehab as humanly possible. And if it's meant to be, he'll be back. If not, he'll be ready to go for next season. 2-1 the count on Lindor. Switch hitter, left side. 2 on, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 3. Nova's been walking that tightrope all night long. Can the Indians push him off the tightrope here in the fourth? We'll see. Perez and Chang back-to-back singles, albeit a miscue defensively on that base hit for Perez by Leori Garcia in center. Helped immensely. Here's the 3-1. Swung on, and there's a high fly ball to right. Hanging up there for Palka, who comes in near the line, and he makes the catch. Lindor skies out to what turned out to be shallow right with that wind blowing in. And now there's 2 down in the inning. Others on the injured list for the Indians. Jeffrey Rodriguez still down at AAA Columbus. Right shoulder issue there, but he's been throwing in games and performing well. A.J. Cole on the injured list, right shoulder issue. But good news, Bradley Zimmer playing well for AAA Columbus. And again, the Clippers start their playoff series tonight in the International League, as does Lake County. They've made it in the Midwest League, and they're playing a home game tonight in the Midwest League playoffs. So good luck to both of them. Out to the mound, Don Cooper, the longtime pitching coach now for the Chicago White Sox, to have a chat with Ivan Nova. And we don't see anyone throwing yet in that Chicago bullpen. Dominion Energy would like to remind you, whether you're an individual or contractor, state law requires that you call 811 before you dig to have those underground utilities marked. It's simple and free. Just dial 811 at least 2 business days prior to digging for your safety. Mound meeting complete as Oscar Mercado steps to the plate. Tribe leading at 3-2. They have a couple of men on base here in the 4th inning, first and second, with 2 outs for Mercado, who doubled in the 1st inning. That snapped an 0 for 11, and then singled his last time up in the 3rd. Nova trying to wiggle out of another tight spot, this time in the 4th inning. Here's his pitch, and it's swung on, lined right center field, sinking fast, and it drops in. Base hit Mercado. Scoring is Perez, and the Indians have added another run on the RBI base hit by Mercado. It's now 4-2 Tribe. A little flare to right center for Mercado, who has a 3-hit night. RBI number 37 for the rookie outfielder for the Indians. And now here comes Carlos Santana. He drove in a run his last time up with a double last inning. Advancing to 3rd on that play was Chang, so it's runners on the corners now for the Indians for Santana. 4th inning, he's batting for the 3rd time. Nova has allowed 4 runs on 9 hits, which is his MO. That's the way it has gone most of the year, the amount of base hits. As there's a bouncer on the infield to the right side, scooped up by the shortstop, Anderson, as he was in the...
At 8:20 in the morning, WTAM 1100.
Shane Bieber back to work, top half of the 5th inning, with the Indians leading by a score of 4-2. And his first pitch is in there for a strike to Zach Collins, the designated hitter tonight for the Sox, catcher by trade. And the White Sox very high on him, just up from the minor leagues, as there's a pitch down low for a ball. They did not call up for a September promotion Luis Robert, who had an unbelievable year in the minor leagues, as there's a swing and a liner foul off to the left side, out of play. Robert, one of the White Sox highly regarded prospects, but did not get the call to the big leagues. Here's the pitch, and it's down low to Collins. That'll square the count at 2-2. Robert had 3 spots on the minor league level. He started at single A and then double A and triple A. Here's the 2-2. Outside, ball 3. Woo, not by much. Hit .328, 32 homers, 92 runs driven in, 36 stolen bases. His OPS was over 1,000. The 3-2. Swung on, chopped foul at home plate. We'll do it again on 3-2 to Zach Collins. But the White Sox electing not to bring him up, as their front office felt that, 3 levels is plenty. Played a lot of baseball, more than he ever had at the pro level. That's enough. The 3-2. Down low, ball 4. Bieber wanted the 2-2, didn't get it, and then he walks the number 9 hitter, Zach Collins, to open the 5th inning. For Bieber, that's his 2nd walk tonight. And we head back to the top of the lineup for Leury Garcia. Download the McDonald's app, and good things could happen. You could win a free 6-piece chicken McNuggets from McDonald's if the Indians steal a base tonight. Remember, McDonald's, I'm loving it. Here's Garcia. He has singled and struck out in 2 trips. Here's the pitch to him. Swung on, popped him up, foul. 3rd base side, out of play. So it's 0-1 on Garcia. Tribe 4, White Sox 2. This game 3 of a 4-game series. Indians won the opener on Monday night 11-3, and then the heartbreaker last night, a 6-5 White Sox win. Here's Bieber's 0-1. Swung on, foul back. Out of play again. 0-2 the count on Garcia. Indians winning here. Meanwhile, at Fenway Park in Boston, the Red Sox now lead the Twins 4-0. That game in the top half of the 3rd inning. Tribe came in 7 back in the loss column behind Minnesota in the AL Central. Here's the 0-2. Swung on, a chopper toward the second baseman, Kipnis. To the bag for 1. Lindor to first, safe at first base. It was a chopper, slow developing around the bag at second, and Garcia can fly. So he stays out of the double play, and it's 1 down now with a runner at first base. Brings up Tim Anderson. He's 0 for 2 on the night. Anderson has popped to first and struck out in 2 trips. Tribe leading at 4-2. We're in the top half of the 5th inning here at Progressive Field. On wild card watch tonight, Tampa Bay is off. They played that doubleheader yesterday to get ahead of potential hurricane issues down in St. Pete. Pitch to Anderson is swung on, line down the right side, slicing, fair ball into the corner. Digging it out is Puig. On his way to third is Garcia. He slips going down and has to scramble back to third as Puig fired it in. And the White Sox will settle for runners at second and third and 1 out. Perhaps another right fielder and the run scores, but not that time on the double off the bat of Anderson. His 28th on the season. But now the White Sox have the tying runs in scoring position against Bieber with 2 challenging hitters coming up. Jose Abreu first. Bieber has struck him out twice in 2 trips tonight. Does he have his number? We'll see. As Abreu digs in from that right side. Bieber from the set. Here's his pitch. Fastball just inside, ball 1. The other team involved in that wild card hunt is Oakland. They play later on. They're hosting the Angels. The Indians and Tampa Bay at 59 losses. Oakland with 58 losses. That's all that separates those 3 teams. Boston lurking. They're 5.5 back. Obviously a long way to go for them in a short period of time. Here's the 1-0. Swung on, foul back into the net. And the count's now 1-1 on Jose Abreu. As consistent as they come. And starting to come up on some real nice milestones for the White Sox. And what could be his last year with Chicago. He doesn't want it to be. They want him back. We'll see what happens in the offseason as his contract is up at the end of the year. Here's the 1-1. Just outside, a little bit low. Tried to get him to chase. He wouldn't do it. And the count's now 2-1. Abreu has an outside chance, well, maybe better than that, of leading the American League in runs driven in. He's only 3 behind Rafael Devers of the Red Sox for the top spot. Here's the 2-1. Swung on, a chopper to third, hauled in by Chang, and they have Garcia hung up in a rundown. Perez chases him back. Now Chang takes the throw. He runs him toward home, and Bieber will tag him out. Advancing to third on the play is Anderson. Boy, if Garcia just goes on contact, Chang double clutched, he might have been able to make it. But Chang hauled it in, and Garcia hesitated, and then he got hung up in the rundown. We'll never know, but he is retired on that rundown. 5-2 to 5-1. Runner at third is Anderson now. At first is Abreu. He could not advance to second. You know, they were thinking about that. The longer Garcia was hung up in the rundown. And now we'll see if Bieber can work out of this thing with Moncada the batter. Yoan Moncada, 1 for 2 with a single. 2 down in the inning to pitch. Fastball, strike on the outside corner. So Anderson at third. Abreu at first. 4-2. Tribe leading here in the 5th. Here's Bieber's 0-1. Breaking ball in the dirt. Good stop by Perez as usual. 1-1 the count. I mentioned Abreu 3 behind Rafael Devers for the RBI lead. If he leads the American League at the end of the year in runs driven in, he would join Dick Allen as the only players to ever lead the league in RBIs for the White Sox. There's a swing and a high fly ball foul down the left side and out of play. Back in 1972, Dick Allen drove in 113 runs. The first ever in the White Sox history to lead the league. That was back in 72. No one's done it since. And these guys have been around since 1901, like the Indians, a charter member of the American League. 1-2 the count on Moncada. Here's Bieber's pitch. Bounced in there, and another great stop by Perez on a pitch that hit well in front of home plate, and somehow Perez able to get that body in front of it and just soften it up as it hit the chest protector right in the belly, and he keeps it in front of him. No advance by the base runners. Boy, Roberto Perez just over the course of his season saves countless runs for his pitching staff. 2-2 the count now on Moncada. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with the slider. Moncada's down on strikes, and the side is retired. Bieber works out of it on the Ohio Cats strikeout of the game. Ohio Cats.
At top of the hour and 30 minutes past on News Radio WTAM 1100.
Indians 4, White Sox 2. Bottom half of the 5th inning now at Progressive Field as Yasiel Puig will lead things off, facing Ivan Nova, the veteran right-hander, into the windup, and here comes his pitch. Swung on, ripped into left field, a base hit for Puig. Stayed back on the off-speed that time and lines it into left for the Indians' 10th hit on the night, and we are only in the 5th inning. And the starter's still in there, Ivan Nova, with no activity in that Sox bullpen. He hasn't made a whole lot of pitches for the trouble he's been in. He's at 67 pitches right now as Jason Kipnis steps in. Time for the Cleveland Clinic Caregiver Shout Out. And when it comes to their health, men don't always make it a priority. So visit clevelandclinic.org/mention it for more information about men's health and preventative steps to take. Here's the pitch from Nova. Swung on, line, back to the mound, caught by Nova, and then they try and double off Puig, and he throws it away. It gets past Abreu. Puig moves up to second, safe at second ahead of the throw. And with 1 out, the Indians have a runner at second base. Boy, what a grab by Nova as Kipnis lines out on a screamer back to the mound. And now Nova's charged with an error, allowing Puig to move up. White Sox looking in their dugout. Not sure if there's something here they want to look at. You know what? Puig did not slide. I wonder if they thought that Anderson tagged him on the way by, but no, maybe not. Play on. No challenge. And now Franmil Reyes will be the batter. Reyes has had a good night so far. He's doubled and lined to center. 2 hard hit balls. 1 for 2 to show for it. Indians have scored single runs in each of the first 4 innings. The pitch to Reyes, and he drives one high and deep to right center. Home run, Reyes. Six to 2 Tribe. as Reyes goes the other way again with power. And his big year continues. 34 home runs. That is his 7th with the Tribe. Oh, man. He is some kind of strong. The wind has been a factor tonight, holding up a lot of fly balls to right. You can't stop Franmil Reyes when he hits one hard. Wind or no wind, he's getting it out of here. And he did right there. Here's Jake Bauers, the pitch. Outside, ball 1. Now, the Indians have scored in every inning. First time, though, they've scored multiple runs. Now the 1-0 to Bauers. Outside and high, 2-0. And this is especially after the type of game they had last night. If they can continue to open up this lead here, make it a little easier in the late innings, that would be a welcome sight for this ball club. Pitch to Bauers, high and away. 3-0. And Nova right back with the 3-0 pitch. Ball 4, low and outside. So 1-out walk to Jake Bauers. For Nova, that's his 2nd walk. And now we do see some activity out in that White Sox bullpen. Boy, Franmil Reyes has been some kind of pickup for the Indians. After that slow start, he has really come on, and that's his 7th home run now for the Tribe, and he's driven in 22. And for Reyes, this is game number 32, so some real nice production. Well, the night is done for Ivan Nova. Rick Renteria out to the mound. This call to the bullpen brought to you by the Cleveland Clinic. New pitcher coming on for the Sox in the bottom half of the 5th. It's 6-2 Tribe on the Jim Rosenhaus along with Tom Hamilton back at downtown Cleveland's Progressive Field. Stephanie Hagel, our on-site engineer in the booth, and Brian Montse back at Command Center. Indians leading it by a score of 6-2. And the bottom half of the 5th inning, they've chased the starter Ivan Nova. And Jimmy Cordero, a right-hander, will come on to pitch. Cordero to face Roberto Perez. Indians with a runner at first base and 1 out. That is Jake Bauers. Perez, 1 for 2, a single his last time up last inning. Cordero from the stretch delivers. Runner on the move, and the pitch is low and in. The throw from his knees by McCann is not nearly in time, and Bauers steals the base. That's his 3rd with the Indians. What Jake was saying yesterday, one of the things he tried to do when he went down to the minor leagues is just play the all-around game and not worry so much about his power numbers, anything like that. And he stole 8 bases in a month down at Columbus, and he said he really was proud of that because that's the type of player he thinks he can be, a more of an all-around player. And he really tried to get back to that. Here's the 1-0. Just missed inside. It counts 2-0 for Cordero. And this is appearance number 20 with the White Sox. He's 0-1, an earned run average of 4.56. 25 strikeouts over 23 and 2/3 innings. Indians leading 6-2 here in the 5th. The pitch. Fastball in there for a strike. Cordero had some major league time last year with Washington, appearing in 22 games out of the pen. He's 27 years of age, out of the Dominican Republic. Goes 6'4", about 235. Big kid. On in relief of Ivan Nova here in the 5th. Here's the 2-1. Fastball, called strike on the inside corner. 2-2 the count on Roberto Perez. Well, as Nova leaves this game, and the book is still open on him with that runner out at second. 4 1/3 innings. He allowed 6 runs on 11 hits. Walked 2, struck out 1. Indians chipped away and got him out of there this inning. Here's the 2-2. Swung on a tapper foul over to the Indians' dugout on the third base side. Count remains 2-2 on Roberto Perez. Same two clubs tomorrow afternoon, the series and homestand finale for the Indians. Another homestand with just one opponent, their third straight. And then it's pack up the suitcase again, get back out on the road. Minnesota over the weekend, Anaheim the start of next week. 2-2 the count on Perez. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. Good changeup, got him. And Perez is down on strikes. Cordero opens with a strikeout. 2 down in the inning. And here comes Yu Chang. Chang 1 for 2 with a single. That was his last time up last inning. Time for your Cleveland Indians memorable moment. It's brought to you by the Nissan team. Bedford Nissan and Mentor Nissan. And we take you back to this date, back in 1991. The debut of Jim Thome, 21 years of age, and he began his career with the Indians. Here's the pitch, and it's inside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Thome went 2 for 4 with an RBI in his major league debut as the Indians beat Minnesota 8-4 up at the old Metrodome. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. Swung on, popped up foul out of play, right side. 1-1 the count on Chang. And of course, it was 1991. Jim Thome just getting started. Went on to a Hall of Fame career. Most of it with the Indians, but some good seasons with the White Sox too. And now part of that White Sox front office. Here's the 1-1. Swung on, broken bat, roller to short, charging Anderson, scoops, throws on the run, close play, got him at first. Chang retired by an eyelash at first base, and the Indians are retired here in the 5th. They score twice on the 2-run home run off the bat of Franmil Reyes. This game heads to the 6th.
AM 1100.
Well, the Indians control this one right now, 6-2. But the one thing we have seen from the White Sox, they play hard. That's a credit to Rick Renteria and his coaching staff. And we saw it last night. And so 6-2 after 5 innings tonight certainly means this game is far from over. Hi again, everybody. Tom Hamilton back with you, along with Jim Rosenhaus. A cool night off the shores of Lake Erie. Breeze blowing in, 68 degrees. Cleveland, 6 runs, 11 hits. Chicago, 2 runs, 5 hits. Shane Bieber into the motion and the pitch. And a check on a pitch up high by catcher James McCann, hitting 5th. He's walked and lined out to 3rd. Bieber has been in and out of trouble tonight. But the bottom line is he's given up 2 runs. He has struck out 7, walked 2. He delivers. And it's in there, strike 1-1. His counterpart, Ivan Nova, finally has a rough outing against the Indians. But honestly, folks, you cannot just say he had a rough outing. He got absolutely no defensive help. The pitch, swung on a bouncing ball up the middle. Lindor to his left, behind second. The shortstop throws out McCann. That's out number 1. The White Sox have only made 1 error, and ironically, it was on the pitcher, Ivan Nova. But there were too many balls that were hit in the air that either should have been caught or played better. There was a ground ball that could have been turned in to a nice, tough play, but into an out, and wasn't. And so Nova had to make so many pitches, had to work out of so many jams, that really his numbers aren't as bad as what they will indicate. Here's the pitch, and taking a breaking ball strike is the young phenom Eloy Jimenez. But Nova goes 4 1/3, gives up 6 runs. They're all considered earned. Allowed 11 hits, walked 2, struck out 1. But you'd have to be here to see it to understand. The pitch swung on, banged up the middle, base hit. Diving stop behind second by Kipnis, but no chance to get Jimenez. I'll tell you what, folks, you can see why the White Sox are so high on this kid. My goodness. He has 7 hits in this series. And you might as well stop throwing him breaking balls because he's hitting every breaking ball you throw him. The next question is how you get him out. The Indians are going to have to revamp the scouting report on Eloy Jimenez because in this series he is 7 for 12. And he's on at first with a 1-out single. Here's Daniel Polka has struck out twice. He takes up high, ball 1. And Eloy Jimenez is just going to keep getting better and better and better. And that's bad news for the AL Central. Now the pitch, waved at by Polka, 1-1 the count. And the White Sox have some really good young position players. Now, the caveat there is they're really good offensive position players. The 1-1 pitch, a swing and a miss, 1-2. They're going to have to get a lot better defensively, and they're going to have to play the game smarter. But a lot of that comes with experience. It's just they have a lot of young guys playing at the same time. That's a hard way to win. Now the 1-2 pitch. And it's swung on, drilled foul down the right side, still 1-2. But you've heard Terry Francona say it in his 7 years as manager here of the Indians. The worst thing you can have is terrific pitching and bad defense because all you do is waste that good pitching. That's why there are 3 parts to this game. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on, banged to first, jumping up to grab it. Santana goes to second one. Lindor turns the double play. And high bouncer that Santana jumped up at. Well, the Indians, with a 6-2 lead, they have scored in all 5 innings. Top of the order, Frankie Lindor, switch hitter, batting left-handed. And Jimmy Cordero goes off speed, drops it in there for a called strike. This is Cordero's second inning of work. He got the last 2 outs in the 5th. Cordero, the pitch. And it's outside and high. He believes in that old adage, moon's out, guns out. He pulls up the right sleeve on his pitching arm, almost up to his shoulder. The 1-1 pitch, it's up high, 2-1. He's got good stuff, my goodness. He has a fastball in the upper 90s to go with a curve, slider, and changeup. Indians with 6 runs on 11 hits. They've scored in each of the first 5 innings. They got 1 run in each of the first 4, then 2 in the 5th. Frankie Lindor started the first with a single, eventually scored on a ground out. Indians got a run in the second inning. The pitch. And it's swung on and a rocket to right center. This is on its way to the base of the wall. Polka plays the carom. Strong throw to second. And a stand-up double for Lindor. Now the Indians are just hammering the ball tonight. Something they haven't done for a long time. And Lindor has double number 35. And that ball almost went through the base of the wall in right center field. The Indians, Franmil Reyes has a 2-run homer to right center and a double. Frankie Lindor now has a double and a single. Here's Oscar Mercado. He's 3 for 3, 2 singles, a double, and an RBI. Carlos Santana, an RBI double. And that pretty much is your Northern Ohio Ford dealers game summary. Ford is America's best-selling brand. And again, this is the way Terry Francona wants the game played. Pressure the opposition every inning. The pitch, Mercado showed bunt, took a strike. Tito's always talked about, it's important to be the team that scores first. The most important thing is to be the team that scores next. You score first and then score next. That's how you gain momentum and take control of a game. Too many times the Indians have scored first and then they don't score for a while. And then they're playing catch-up. Not tonight. Now the set, now the pitch. A swing and a high fly ball to center, medium deep. So Lindor cannot tag, and Mercado is retired for the first time as center fielder Leori Garcia looks to the heavens and says, thank you for a routine fly ball to me, not a rocket right at me. Here is Carlos Santana, 1 for 3 with an RBI double. The Indians tonight have the 2-run homer to right center by Franmil Reyes. But what's even better, the Indians have banged out 4 doubles. The Indians need this kind of momentum going into Minnesota. We talked about it early. They've been in a tough stretch since they left the Twin Cities, going 9-12. There's the pitch to Santana, down low a ball. That took the Indians from a first-place tie to being 7 games out in the loss column in a span of 3 weeks. They, of course, play the Twins this weekend in Minneapolis for 3, but they've got to get wins outside of just those head-to-head matchups. The 1-0. Swung on, popped him up. On the right side, foul ground. Abreu, the first baseman near the seats, makes the catch. And Santana's out number 2. Tonight, the Twins are losing 4-0. Boston leads at Fenway in the 4th. Mookie Betts has hit 2 homers. He now has 25 and has driven in all 4 of the runs. Yasiel Puig's had a 2-hit game. 2 for 3, 2 singles, a run batted in. Indians have out-hit the Sox 12-6 and lead this game 6-2. Lindor leadoff double, still at second, 2 down here in the 6th. Puig has played straight up in the White Sox outfield. The pitch to him, and he tried to hold up, chase one at the knees, strike 1. Well, you got to make your mind up quickly on this kid. That was a 98-mile-an-hour sinker. Jimmy Cordero. The 0-1. Swing and a high fly ball to fairly deep right. Polka going back, but the wind knocks this down. And he'll make the catch. And for the first time, Yolmer Sanchez, switch hitter batting left-handed, leads off the White Sox 7th, 6-2 Indians. Shane Bieber the wind and the pitch, and he misses low ball 1. Bieber has made 98 pitches through 6 innings, has struck out 7, walked 2, trying to win his 13th game. He delivers, and it's swung on, fouled back and out of play, 1-1. Shane Bieber has not won since August 9th. Last 4 starts, he's 0-3, but a 3.20 ERA. Finally getting some run support tonight. The pitch swung on, a bouncing ball on 1 hop to second. Jason Kipnis will throw Sanchez out. Here is the number 9 hitter, the DH, Zach Collins. He's 1 for 1. RBI single and a walk. Nick Goody warming in the Indians bullpen. Lyft is the official rideshare partner of the Indians. They'll make getting to and from the ballpark a home run. Download Lyft today and get going. Indians load the right side of the infield as Collins cuts and misses. Strike 1. 6 runs, 12 hits, no errors. 7 left for the Indians. The 0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2. The White Sox 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error, 5 stranded. It's 6-2 Cleveland, but it could be a lot more lopsided. The Indians are 3 for 15 tonight with men in scoring position. That pitch dips low, 1-2 the count. And the White Sox have some thumpers in this lineup. They can get back into a game in a hurry like we saw last night. That pitch down and in, 2-2. If things don't change dramatically, the White Sox will have their 6th consecutive losing season. But certainly much better than a year ago. That pitch fouled back, 2-2 the count. Last year, the White Sox lost 100 games. Right now, they're at 61 and 77. So they have definitely improved from a year ago. Now the 2-2. Hit in the air, foul, third base side out of play. We'll do it again at 2-2. Of course, White Sox under Ozzie Guillen won it all in 2005. Where did those 14 years go since? The pitch, down low, full count again. Boy, Bieber is pitching Zach Collins like he's Stan the Man. Collins coming in here batting 103. Payoff pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. And Bieber has struck out 8. 2 down. Of course, Ozzie Guillen eventually talked himself out of Chicago, became the manager of the Miami Marlins, and burned almost every conceivable bridge you could burn in Miami in about 3 weeks. Didn't last long there. Top of the order, Leori Garcia, 1 for 3 with a single, switch hitter batting left-handed. The pitch, it's high, a ball. Guillen back with the White Sox, kind of in one of those advisory positions. White Sox owner Jerry Reinsdorf is about as loyal a man as there is. The 1-0, and it's down low, 2-0. You don't hear people that work for Jerry Reinsdorf ever say a bad word about him. He is generous to his people and very, very loyal. The pitch swung on, ripped foul upstairs, 2-1 the count. Boy, and in this day and age, and in the world we live in, loyalty is in short supply, but not when it comes to Jerry Reinsdorf. The 2-1, swung on, a high bouncer, foul, first base side. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. 6-2 Cleveland here in the 7th. Shane Bieber in his final inning. He's had 113 pitches. He fires, and it's swung on and missed. And he'll finish the ball game with 9 strikeouts in the 7 innings that he worked. Bieber went 100. I guess it isn't that tough to say after all. He'll take over as it's a 6-2 ball game. The Indians have the lead over the White Sox going to the bottom of the 7th. Good job by the youngster, Jimmy Cordero. Shut the Indians out in an inning and 2/3, allowed a hit, struck out a batter. Osich will face the left-hander Jason Kipnis, 0 for 3. White Sox with a 29-man bullpen as Osich from the set delivers. And it's in there, strike. The White Sox have 5 left-handers in the bullpen. Osich, one of them. 7 right-handers. Jeepers. 12 guys in the bullpen. They're sitting on each other's shoulders out there in right center. Now the 0-1 pitch, and it's in the dirt, 1-1. Fortunately, next year, only a 28-man roster when the rosters are expanded come September. Instead, as Tito says, some of these teams are turning this into romper room. The 1-1 pitch, swung on, fouled off to the right, 1-2 the count. It's nice to get some guys a taste of the big leagues. You want to bring all 40 people on your 40-man roster to the big league club, that's great. But then you should only be allowed to suit up like next year, 28. That's it. Now the set, now the 1-2 to Kipnis. And he fouls it down the left side. Kipnis with those anti-inflammatories to try to settle down the tendonitis in the wrist. But let's face it, you're playing baseball, you throw, you're using your wrist. You swing the bat, you're using your wrist. That tendonitis will settle down in December. Now the 1-2 to Kipnis. And he fouls it off again. And will do it again at a ball and 2 strikes. Boston, with Mookie Betts hitting 2 homers and driving in 4, still leads Minnesota 4-0, 5th inning. Yankees have a 4-0 lead on Texas. They're in the 8th inning as, boy, all of a sudden the Yankees are getting some good starting pitching. Now tonight, kind of a misnomer to say starting pitching. It's a bullpen game tonight. The 1-2 pitch. Kipnis fouling it back again. Detroit leads Kansas City 3-2 in the 4th. In the National League, the New York Mets came back from last night's devastation and beat Washington 8-4. That might be the Mets' biggest win of the year, considering had they lost tonight, their season might be over. The 1-2 pitch in the dirt, 2-2. If you didn't hear, the Mets led 10-4 going into the bottom of the 9th inning last night in D.C., and the Mets bullpen gave up 7 runs, a historical 11-10 win in 9 innings by Washington. Now the 2-2 pitch. And it's hit in the air to left, not deep. Jimenez is under it, and Kipnis is out number 1. But the Mets did not let that derail them, and that phenom rookie, Pete Alonso, hit his 45th home run. And the Mets bounced back and beat Washington tonight 8-4. Grand scheme of things, that might have been a win tonight that saves the Mets season, or at least gives them some hope for the next 3.5 weeks. The Mets started the day. They're only 5 out in the wild card chase. The problem for the Mets, they have 5 teams ahead of them. The pitch, Franmil Reyes watches it bounce in, ball 1. Reyes, he has doubled to center, lined out to center, and a 2-run homer to right center. 6-2 Indians, 7th inning. Cincinnati leads Philadelphia 8-5. That's now in the bottom of the 8th inning in the Queen City. Here's the pitch. Bounces in again. Twice the ball has hit 4 feet in front of home plate. And the count 2-0. Trevor Bauer tonight went 5 innings, gave up 4 runs on 6 hits, struck out 6, walked 2, made 89 pitches. He now has an .823 earned run average for the Cincinnati Reds, and Bauer was quoted when he left the mound saying his problems are all related to Skyline Chili. Here's the 2-0, waved at, the count now 2-1. Miami has a 5-3 lead over Pittsburgh in the 7th. San Francisco on top of St. Louis, 4-2 in the 5th. And here in Cleveland, 6-2 Indians, 7th inning. The 2-1 to Reyes. Swinging a high topper to third, could be a tough play, but it kicks foul, and it's a 2-2 count. The scores were brought to you by Ram Trucks, the Ram 1500 and the Ram 3500. What do you know? We have a new Reed. Holy smokes! What, 5 months on the old Reed wasn't good enough?
It was a long summer clearance event.
All right, evidently it was. They don't have a truck left. So visit your Ram truck dealer and look at some pictures. Now, power is the all-new Ram 1500 and the new Ram 3500. Hurry in, it's the Ram Power Days. Great deals on the most powerful lineup with the most horsepower of any full-size truck. 6-2 Indians. 7th inning, 1 out, nobody on. The 2-2. Reyes watches a third pitch bounce in there. Josh Osich almost like, I don't want to throw this one over the plate, as he will hurt the baseball. Franmil Reyes, man, what a future he's got here in Cleveland. The payoff pitch. Down and in, what an at-bat. Think about Franmil Reyes. Another year or so, maybe it won't even take that long. He's going to be one of the most popular players that the Indians have among the fan base.
Easy to like, a gentle giant. And my goodness, he has made some serious strides at the plate in a very short period of time.
The Indians, with Jake Bauers being lifted for a pinch hitter, with a left-hander on the mound, you know what that means. Jordan Luplow is going to get a crack at it. And Luplow this season is 3 for 16 as a pinch hitter. So the right-handed slugger steps in, and the pitch to him. And it bounced in again, knocked down by McCann. Oh, McCann is going to feel like he went 15 rounds with Tyson. He has had one ball after another rip into him as Osich is acting like the pitching slab is 58 feet 6 inches from home plate. Now the 1-0 pitch, and it's down and in. Ball 2-0. Tribe leading it by a score of 6-2. The Indians have a runner on with one out here in the 7th. Now the set. Now the next delivery. And it caught the corner, called strike. Osich delivering. Luplow taking way outside and a lunging grab by McCann. McCann's going to go out to the mound. He may need a breather himself, as Osich just cannot, for whatever reason, find any kind of rhythm or release point or something. 3-1 the count on Jordan Luplow. 1 out, 1 on. 7th inning, 6-2 Indians. Quick turnaround, 110 game tomorrow. Zach Plesac, who grew up a White Sox fan, facing Reynaldo Lopez.
This is 25,488, 25488.
That pitch in there is strike, full count. Well, they tell us the attendance 25,488. Doesn't look like we have anywhere near that, but it's a good crowd. Now the payoff pitch to Luplow. Swung on, banged, foul, third base side. We'll do it again at 3-2. Indians scored in each of the first 5 innings. Franmil Reyes, 2-run homer to right center and a double. Oscar Mercado, a 3-hit game. Now the 3-2 delivery. Hit foul, back of home plate, out of play. Frankie Lindor and Yasiel Puig have each had 2 hits. Shane Bieber went 7 strong. Gave up 2 runs on 6 hits, struck out 9, walked 2. Shane Bieber has a chance to get his 13th win and his first since August 9th. I'll tell you what, Josh Osich is taking forever to make pitches. Here it comes. Throw to first. Franmil Reyes. The next time he tries to steal a first will be at the next apocalypse. Now the payoff. Tapped foul, third base coaching box. Still a 3-2 count on Luplow. Good at bat for Luplow. Power Home Solar. They're the official solar provider of the Indians, building a movement. Visit powerhome.com or text solar at 411-411. Power Home Solar. Own your power. 6-2 Indians, seventh inning. Reyes at first, one out. Luplow awaiting the payoff. Here it comes. And he rips it into left, the base hit. Good job by Luplow pinch hitting. Reyes stops at second. I'm sure we'll have a pitching change as catcher Roberto Perez comes to the plate. He is one for... I may wake up at 3 in the morning after a nightmare after seeing some of this. And we won't describe any of it.
Is the Jumbotron rated? Do they have a rating for that for kids?
Every once in a while, the camera lingers just a little too long. Oh, look at Jimmy. He was born with just 2 fingers. Kelvin Herrera is now on to pitch for the Chicago White Sox. It's 6-2 Indians with 2 men on and 1 out. Herrera having a tough year. 3 wins, 3 losses, and a 7.07 ERA. And a .316 batting average against him. Boy, remember when he was part of one of the most dominant bullpens we've ever seen with Kansas City? Those days seem like a distant memory, don't they? Roberto Perez, the batter, 1 for 3 with a single. Reyes at second, Luplow's at first. 1 out in the 7th inning. Cleveland 6, Chicago 2. Right-hander against right-hander. Kelvin Herrera just used to throw octane, upper 90s. That pitch, sinker, strike in the knees. That was 94. But he's not missing any bats this year, that's for sure. Kelvin Herrera. He missed 2 months of last season. He had shoulder issues, then a fractured left foot. Pitched last year with Kansas City and Washington. Signed with the White Sox. The pitch, and it's waved at. Good slider. And the count 0-2. But boy, at one time, that Royals bullpen was about as deep and as good as it has ever been in the American League. Greg Holland and Wade Davis and Luke Hochevar and this guy. I mean, it just can go on and on and on. There was no end in sight. The 0-2, swing and a foul back, still 0-2. But those kind of bullpens cost a lot of money to keep together, and eventually guys move on. We've seen it here in Cleveland. When the Indians had Cody Allen, Andrew Miller, and Brian Shaw, it was why they got to Game 7 of the World Series in 16. But tough to keep those bullpens together, and tough to keep those guys all still pitching well when they get heavily used. Indians with a 4-run lead. They have had a chance from almost the get-go to blow this game open in every inning. Just haven't been able to do it. The pitch. High. 1-2. The Indians are 3 for 15 when batting with a runner in scoring position tonight. That was through 6 innings. Think of that. In 6 innings, if somebody was throwing a perfect game against you, the pitch, swing and a pop-up back and out of play, you would have 18 at-bats in 6 innings if somebody was throwing a perfect game. The Indians in 6 innings had 15 at-bats alone with a runner at least at second base in scoring position. That's a lot of opportunities, and when you're only 3 for 15, it's why this game is still kind of hanging in the balance. Indians lead 6-2, but they saw quickly last night how that can change. Herrera is ready. And the pitch, all the way to the backstop. The throw to third, Reyes is in sliding. Safe. That ball ricocheted from the backstop back to the catcher. And I mean, Herrera missed the catcher's glove by 15 feet. This has been, well, maybe he didn't miss it by as much as I thought seeing the replay. McCann may have been crossed up, but this has been about as ugly a defensive game as we have seen from a team this year. And I'm not trying to pick on the White Sox, but Rosie, they have failed in every defensive area.
Oh boy, from the get-go too. And you're right, outfield, catching, bad pitching.
Ooh, holding runners, the pitch, swing and a foul at the plate, still 2-2 on Perez. The wild pitch, and it looked like once you saw the replay, it was maybe more of a cross-up between the catcher and pitcher, but it was still high and to the backstop. Reyes now is at third. Luplow is now at second. One out in the seventh. Indians up 6-2. The White Sox have to bring the infield partway in. They're not to the cut of the grass. They're about even with the bags. The pitch down low, and he almost threw another one to the backstop. A great backhanded pick. McCann behind the plate in this inning alone has been brilliant. Osich spiked I don't know how many pitches that nailed McCann, and he just saved a run from scoring with that backhanded pick on a pitch in the dirt. Herrera with the payoff pitch to Perez. Hit on a line to deep right. Down the line toward the corner. It is off the wall, foul. That would have cleared the bases, and that would have opened this game up. So the Indians have runners at second and third. One down here in the seventh, leading 6-2. Again, the White Sox don't bring the infield all the way in. They keep that infield part way in. Reyes, not a speedster by any means at third, so you don't have to play all the way in. The pitch, swing and a miss, high fastball, and he chased it. So somehow Kelvin Herrera came back and struck out Roberto Perez on 10 pitches. I'm telling you, folks, this game is why you don't bet on baseball. Because there isn't any way to explain what we're seeing here tonight. It is goofy. Yu Chang, the batter, 1 for 3 with a single. Now 2 down. Indians still at second and third, but the White Sox infielders back at normal 2-out depth. And Herrera's pitch, fastball strike. Josh Osich came in here and just was having a dickens of a time throwing strikes. Herrera trying to bail him out. Now the 0-1. High, ball 1, 1-1. Yu Chang out of Taiwan. Likeable young man. He's worked really hard at learning English. Jason Lin, one of the Indians' outstanding international cross-checkers, has been helping. Jason Lin is an American, but his mom and dad speak Taiwanese, as does Jason. Jason probably speaks about 8 languages. Bright young man. The pitch. Swinging a line drive to left field, base hit. Reyes will score. Also coming home, Luplow. Throw to the plate, cut off. 2-run score. Chang in a rundown between first and second is tagged out, but Chang has cut. Goody delivering, and he zings one in there to Tim Anderson for strike 1. Welcome back, everybody. Tom Hamilton, Jim Rosenhaus, Brian Motze, and Stephanie Hagel at the corner of Carnegie and Ontario, where the Indians have an 8-2 lead on the White Sox. Anderson 1 for 3, a double. Right-handed hitting shortstop, and the 2-hole hitter flips one foul off to the right, and the count 0-2. Another tremendous outing by Shane Bieber as he goes 7 innings, giving up 2 runs on 6 hits, struck out 9, walked 2, in line to be 13-7 when this night is over. That is, if the Indians bullpen can get the next 6 outs with no major uprising. Goody's ready, and he fires, and it's ripped to right, base hit. A 2-strike base hit on a slider that was up. And Anderson has a 2-hit game. Boy, he has turned himself into a very good player. Nick Goody is making his 32nd appearance, 3 wins and a loss, a 2.08 ERA. Teams are only batting .184 against him, but he has scuffled a little bit in recent outings. Boston still leading Minnesota 4-0, 6th inning at Fenway. Mookie Betts, 2 homers, all 4 RBIs. That happened in the first 2 innings. Here's Jose Abreu. First time we've actually seen him scuffle. He is 0 for 11 in the series. The pitch to him, and it's up and in, a ball. He has struck out twice tonight and a ground out. Indians up 8-2 in the 8th. They've out-hit the Sox 14-7. 25,000 plus. A lot of them have gone home. Goody is ready. And the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a foul tip into the glove, 1-1. Indians are doing a great thing next year. Next year, September weeknight games, Monday through Thursday, are going to be like April and May, starting at 6:10 instead of 7:10. That is great when you think of kids getting up going to school the next day. 6:10 start makes sense if you're doing it in April and May. Why not in September? And the Indians will next year. The pitch, swing and a miss, fastball. 1-2 the count on Abreu.
Several teams doing something similar, maybe a 6:30, but something earlier than 7 just to kind of get a jump on things during the school time.
Indians have scored tonight in 6 of the 7 innings. Goody is ready. Here it comes. Swing and a foul upstairs, still 1-2. Talking to Steve Stone about Abreu, I said, why is he not signed? And Steve Stone said, don't worry. When the owner, Jerry Reinsdorf, says Jose Abreu will wear a White Sox uniform his entire career, you don't have to worry about him going anywhere. That'll get done this offseason. He has really been a terrific player. And what a force in the middle of the lineup. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a foul down the right side. Still a 1-2 count. White Sox may need, and I'm playing general manager now, which means if the White Sox listen to me, they are destined for hell.
It's fun to play GM, though, isn't it?
It's easy to be at one that doesn't cost you your job. But they may need some veteran pieces here to help show these kids how to play the game the right way. The 1-2 pitch, hit foul again, still 1-2. I mean, when you think of the Indians teams that took quantum leaps, I think back in 07, a guy like Trot Nixon, along with a Casey Blake, a Joe Borowski. Boy, they added some of those veterans that were just so impactful in the Indians clubhouse. You think of what Jason Giambi meant to this club in 2013, a Mike Napoli in 2016. Here is the 1-2 pitch. And it swung on and hammered to left, but he hooked it foul. Still 1-2. It's not always just one guy because it's hard to find that one guy that has the persona and the leadership abilities of a Giambi or a Napoli. But if you can get 3-4 veteran guys, some in the bullpen, some maybe in the rotation, some position, that's maybe how you turn some of these young kids into winners.
And bring him in from outside. They have Abreu here, but he's been here. Bring him in from outside from teams that have won in the past. That helps.
The 1-2 pitch to Abreu. Ooh, fastball missed in. And right now, Nick Goody's not getting people out with 2 strikes. Tim Anderson had a 2-strike single to center. Abreu is spoiling 2-strike pitch after 2-strike pitch. And now he's got the count to 2-2. This is going to be the 9th pitch of this at-bat. Here it comes. Down low, he missed with a slider, full count. And this is the problem the Indians have been running into lately with their bullpen. The inability to have one guy come in and get 3 outs instead of having to use multiple guys to have to constantly mix and match. That's what really takes a toll on a bullpen. And Nick Goody is scuffling here tonight. Full count on Abreu, and the payoff pitch. Hit in the air to left, fairly deep. Luplow is back. Now he looks up, and this ball is gone. Luplow started in on that ball, then he went back, turned around, and it just cleared the 19-foot wall in left. What an at-bat by Jose Abreu. His 29th homer, giving him 106 RBIs, and the White Sox just refuse to go away. It's an 8-4 ball game, and Nick Goody's woes are continued. He had 2 strikes on Abreu. He had 2 strikes on Anderson. Both got 2 strike base hits, and Abreu had a 10-pitch at bat before he hit that home run. And the Indians, guess what? Now they got to get their bullpen going again. Wow, how big was Yu Chang's 2-out base hit last inning? Tyler Clippard is warming in the Indians bullpen. Nick Whitgren's no longer the 8th inning man, and that's pretty evident with Goody coming in again in the 8th inning, and now it's Clippard that's warming in the Indians bullpen. And here's Yoan Moncada. Moncada is 1 for 3 with a single. What an at-bat by Jose Abreu. 8-4, Indians lead the White Sox, 8th inning. The set, the pitch, and it's high, ball 1. And the Indians' bullpen has been so good all year long, but again, the one thing and the beauty of baseball, here's the Goody set and pitch. A foul ball hit on the right side by Moncada, and the count 1-1. It's a 6-month season, and eventually whatever warts a team has are exposed at some point in a 6-month season. And right now, the lack of some power arms in the back end of that Indians bullpen is costing them some games and creating some issues. Now the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Good slider. 1-2. It's not that the guys they have can't get it done, but there's just so much less margin for error if you're not throwing mid to upper 90s coming into the games from the 7th inning on, like so many bullpens are now doing. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on, and another base hit on a 2-strike hit. This one to right field by Moncada. And for the 3rd straight batter, Nick Goody has gotten to 2 strikes and given up a base hit. The 3rd in this inning, and I would think his night is done. Moncada has a 2-hit game, and James McCann, the batter, 0 for 2 with a walk. And Indians manager Terry Francona near that top step of the dugout. While the Reds' Michael Lorenzen has done something that hadn't been done since Babe Ruth in 1921. Michael Lorenzen of the Reds is the first player to earn a win, hit a home run, and play in the field in the same game since the Yankees' Babe Ruth in 1921. Michael Lorenzen did it for the Reds here tonight, 98 years later. Meanwhile, Tyler Clippard will make appearance number 45. No decisions, a 2.73 ERA, and he's been a lifesaver to this Indians bullpen. Fastball splitter change, and he'll drop a curveball in there every once in a while. So once again, the Indians not able to just go to one guy late in the game to get through an inning. Nick Goody faces 3 batters. He's given up 2 runs, 3 hits so far, responsible for 2 runs, but also responsible for the guy at first, Moncada. Still nobody out. 8th inning, 8-4 Indians, and now James McCann 0 for 2 with a walk. Righty-righty matchup. Clippard is ready, and he delivers. And McCann takes ball 1. It's outside. Need a full-size truck? Well, stop by your local Toyota dealer for the Go Anywhere, Do Anything Toyota Tundra. It's one of 12 different Toyotas built in the U.S. For all Toyota offers, go to buyatoyota.com. Clippard wears the sports goggles. A look over at first. He comes set, hands resting just above the belt, and he lets it fly. And the pitch on a check swing. Did he go? Yep. And the pitch, which would have been inside, instead on the appeal, went around, and it's a 1-1 count on a disillusioned James McCann. Six to nothing. Boston now leading Minnesota in the 6th. But it'll do the Indians no good if they can't finish off the White Sox. And boy, things are starting to look awfully dicey in that regard. Now the set. Now the 1-1 pitch. Up and in, a curveball that did nothing. 2-1. Now we have the Society of Owls sounding like it's closing time. 8-4, Indians leading the Sox. Runner on, nobody out in the 8th inning. The 2-1 pitch. Fouled off to the right. 2-2. Well, so far the White Sox have had 3 hits this inning, with each batter having 2 strikes at the time of the hit. Yankees beat Texas 4-1, so the Yankees have their 92nd win. Right now they still have the best record in the American League. And in fact, they now have the best record in all of baseball. Hair better than the Dodgers, which is important when you talk about home field advantage come October. Now the 2-2. High, ball 3. 3-2. The payoff is waved at. Struck him out with the off speed. Boy, Clippard got a big out there getting McCann. 1 down in the 8th. Let's see if that takes some starch out of the White Sox rally. Eloy Jimenez, the batter, 2 for 3 with a double and a single. The only time he lined out to center field to be retired. That was it. Even his out was a smoke job. Good-looking hitter. He's such a strong young man, Eloy Jimenez. "24 homers in his rookie year." The pitch, waved at it, strike 1. And he's shown here in this series, he's a really good 2-strike hitter. And that's something you don't see from many rookies. Indians are fairly deep in the outfield, a bit the other way toward right. Moncada, decent lead at first. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Well, that time he chased a fastball almost up by his chin. 0-2 the count. Clippard only throws 89 to 90 with a fastball, so for him it's all about location, location, location. Now the 2-strike delivery. And he hit him. Trying to go in on him. And he hits Jimenez in the upper left arm area. And the Indians are just putting themselves in a very precarious situation. So Jimenez heads to first. Moncada goes to second. And I would think pretty soon we'll see Brad Hand warming up. You don't want to start multiple innings for your closer, but you also don't want to get to a chance here where you never get to your closer. Daniel Polka, the batter. 2 strikeouts, and the last time up, he hit into a double play. 1 for 52 this year in the majors. The pitch. Swing and a miss, and that's why. He chased a fastball high and outside. Polka's only hit this year for the White Sox came against Kansas City on April 17th. 1 for 52. But again, 27 homers as a rookie last year with the Sox, 27 in AAA this year. The pitch. Check swing foul, third base side, off the screen by the Indians dugout. Polka must feel like he walks to the plate with a count 0-2. When you're struggling like he is, you never feel like you're in a proactive position. It's almost like you're just being defensive and trying to dig yourself out of a hole. And in this case, a chasm. The 2-strike delivery. Swing and a pop foul back and out of play. Will do it again at 0-2. This is what makes Clippard so tough now. Now he can try and bury that splitter in the dirt, and a tough pitch to lay off of. White Sox at first and second, 1 out, 2 runs in. Cleveland 8, Chicago 4, top of the 8th. The pitch. Splitter in the dirt. Didn't chase because it bounced in there. Good block by Perez. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Clippard now steps off. Now he's ready. And the 1-2 delivery. Ball outside and high, 2-2. Clippard takes a lot of time himself. Now he sets, delivers, and it's fouled back. Polka staying alive at 2-2. 2 on, 1 out, 8-4 Indians, 8th inning. Now the 2-2. And he fouled it upstairs. So for a guy struggling, to the extent Polka is, this is a really encouraging at bat for him and the White Sox. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on. 1 out. Chicago has scored 2 here in the 8th. 8-4 Cleveland. Clippard is ready. Here it comes. Swing and a pop foul upper deck behind home plate. And we will do it again at 2-2. And boy, these White Sox, and this is a credit to them. Saw it last night, seeing it again tonight. They were down 8-2 when this inning began. Anderson on a 2-strike pitch got a single. Abreu, a 10-pitch at bat, homered. McCann struck out. Jimenez hit by a pitch. And Polka having a long at bat now against Clippard. The pitch. Swung on a weak chopper to second. Charged by Kipnis, gloves, and he'll throw Polka out. Moncada goes to third. Jimenez goes to second. That is out number 2, but it didn't come easily. And now Yolmer Sanchez, the batter. Switch hitter, batting left-handed. Sanchez, 0 for 2, does have an RBI on a sac fly. Base hit here, though, could make it a 2-run game. Polka just had a 9-pitch at bat, so the White Sox have had a 10-pitch and a 9-pitch at bat this inning. Sanchez will swing it left-handed. The pitch. Swing and a weak fly into shallow right. Out is Kipnis, in is Puig. Kipnis makes the catch in front of the right fielder. So Clippard saves the day. 8. Well, you don't see this very often. The White Sox are going to try to strengthen their defense now that they're down 4. Adam Engel will play center field, and Leori Garcia will move over and play right. Problem is, the damage has been done by the outfield that was out there for the ball game when it was still in doubt. 8-4, the Indians have the lead. The Indians now will face another relief pitcher, lefty Hector Santiago. Top of the order, Frankie Lindor will turn around and bat right-handed. Takes inside a ball. White Sox are using their 5th different pitcher. Santiago's pitch is in there. Frankie Lindor tonight, 2 for 4 with a double and a single. 8-4 Cleveland, bottom of the 8th. The pitch, way inside. And the count 2-1. Brad Hand warming in the Indians' pen. Non-save situation, but he needs the work, and the Indians can't take any chances. The pitch. Down and in, 3-1 now on Lindor. Santiago this year, 0-1 with the Sox in 6 games, 5.28 ERA. The veteran lefty's pitch. And it's swung on, bounced to short. Easy hop for Anderson, comes up to about belt high, and he'll throw out Lindor for out number 1. Here's Oscar Mercado, 3 for 4 with a double, 2 singles, and an RBI. KeyBank brings you the keys to the game, and they introduce Easy Up. That's the tool that'll help you automatically stack up savings and pay down debt. KeyBank, the banking home of the Indians. Now the keys to this game. 1, Shane Bieber. 7 superb innings, giving up 2 runs, striking out 9. And then the Indians were relentless tonight. Now, they have chances to really make this a complete blowout, but even when they didn't deliver, they kept pecking away. Mercado takes inside a ball. The Indians scored a run in each of the 4 innings to start the game. Then they scored 2 in the 5th. Then they added 2 more in the 7th. So that's 6 innings out of the 7 they scored in. That pitch up high, 2-0. Franmil Reyes tonight, a big game. With a 2-run homer to right center, a double, a walk, 3 runs scored. The 2-0, high, 3-0. Frankie Lindor, a double, a single. Oscar Mercado a 3-hit game. Carlos Santana an RBI double. Yasiel Puig couple of hits and an RBI. Yu Chang a big 2-run single with 2 out. Strike delivered to Mercado, 3-1 the count. A lot of contributors here tonight for the Indians. Now the 3-1. Down and in, he walked him. White Sox pitchers have tonight, in addition to giving up 14 base hits, have walked 4. Kelvin Herrera. We saw him come into this ball game, and he went 2/3 of an inning. Didn't give up any runs, but he gave up the big 2-out, 2-run single. The runs were charged to Osich. Carlos Santana will bat right-handed for the first time tonight. 1 for 4, RBI double. Santiago's pitch, and it is in there, strike at the letters. Mercado looks like he has some thoughts of running, and with the Indians only up 4 in the 8th, you can certainly run. That is by no means one of those rules you can't run when you're up 4 in the 8th. There's no such thing. There he goes. He took a good lead and running jump, and then Santana fouled the ball off to catcher McCann. Boy, that's a couple of times here that Mercado's had the base stolen and Santana has swung. So Mercado back to first. Now an 0-2 count on Santana. And James McCann continues to get beat up in that catcher's position tonight for the White Sox. Eight to 4 Indians, 8th inning. 1 out, 1 on. Santiago's ready. Here it comes. And Santana almost got hit jumping back from that thigh-high pitch. And the count of 1-2. Now the 1-2. And before it's made a throw to first, Mercado back. Santiago's one of those guys you wonder, why is he here? He's not part of the future. He won't be back next year. He's not pitched much with them this year. Why wouldn't you be looking at youngsters? Santiago's ready, hands belt high. Throw to first, and back standing is Mercado.
I think you could say the same for Monday's starter, Ross Detweiler, a veteran guy who can't imagine will be part of their plans for next year, but maybe they just don't feel that some of the young arms are ready yet.
Now the 1-2. Swing and a high fly ball into shallow right. Going out Sanchez, coming in Garcia. And right fielder Leori Garcia retires Santana. 2 down. 8 to 4 Indians here in the 8th. Yasiel Puig, the batter. 2 for 4 with a couple of singles. Indians with an 8-4 lead here in the 8th inning. Now the set. Now the throw to first, and back standing is Mercado. Hunter Wood now has joined Brad Hand in the Indians bullpen. Indians with an 8-4 advantage in the 8th. The set. And the pitch. Runner takes off. Pitches high. Throw is too late. Skips away from Sanchez. Goes into center. Mercado gets up after the head first slide. Slides head first into third. So he has his 13th steal, and then he goes to third on the throwing error by the catcher. So the Indians, leading 8-4, now have a runner at third base with 2 down in the 8th. Yasiel Puig climbs back in. Santiago goes back to the windup. And the pitch. Swinging tardy was Puig. His timing is still off. That's a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, and Puig swung at it like it was 98. He's just off timing-wise. Terry Francona saying he's just getting started late. Now the windup and the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Fastball again. And Santiago sees the same thing, and that's smart. He's just, why screw around with breaking balls if you're throwing the fastball by him? 1-2 the count. Puig doesn't have a lot of pre-swing movement, the pitch, and he hits this one foul down the right side. So sometimes those guys, when they're off a little bit, like Tito was saying, they don't have that little mechanism that some hitters have when they start their load and whatnot. He's much more, as Tito said, like Paul Molitor was. So simple, not much movement. Now the 1-2 pitch. Down and in, 2-2. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with it. It's worked his entire career. But Terry Francona was saying sometimes when your timing's off a little bit and you are a hitter that doesn't use a lot of movement, it takes you a little while to figure it out and get back into sync. Now the 2-2. Swing and a shot to first, caught by Abreu. So the inning is over, and the Indians will take an 8-4 lead into the 9th inning. Last shot for the White Sox on the Cleveland Clinic.
From 9 to 10.
Or a celebrity.
On WTAM 1100.
Well, the Indians will go to Brad Hand. This is a non-save situation, but he also hasn't pitched since last Thursday. Brad Hand, 33 saves, 6 wins, 4 losses, ERA 3.11, his 58th appearance, 79 strikeouts in 55 innings. Brad Hand, fastball, sinker, slider, inherits an 8-4 lead, 9th inning. Good job by Tyler Clippard, a big scoreless inning when things were teetering the wrong way. Clippard struck out a batter, hit a batter. Brad Hand facing the pinch hitter, Danny Mendick. Right-handed batter, taking, and it's outside a ball. Mendick getting his feet wet here on the big league level after 17 homers in Charlotte. Right-handed hitter. The set, and the 1-0 to Mendick, and he waves at it. 1-1. Shane Bieber was outstanding again tonight. 7 innings, gave up 2 runs, struck out 9, in line to win his 13th. Now the 1-1. Mendick takes outside a ball, 2-1. Minnesota has scored in the 8th inning, 6-2. Boston now on top at Fenway in the 8th. Here's the set by Hand and the 2-1. Swing and a miss. That fastball was 90 miles an hour. 2-2 the count. That's certainly down from the norm from Brad Hand.
Well, we saw that the other day, his last outing in Detroit. Now, that was the second half of a back-to-back, but it was down that day, too.
Now the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out at 92. So the pinch hitter Mendick is disposed of. Top of the order, 1 down. Leori Garcia will swing it right-handed for the first time tonight. left-handed, 1 for 4 with a single. Brad Hand is ready. Here it comes. Bullseye, strike 1. Hand is ready, and he lets it fly. And a slider for strike 2. 0-2. The next offering, and Garcia swings, grounds one to short. Backhanded and shallow left. Lindor spinning throw, but no chance. Garcia runs well. Infield hit, his second hit of the night. That'll bring up Tim Anderson. He's 2 for 4 with a double and a single. Eight runs, 14 hits for the Tribe. 4 runs, now 10 hits for the White Sox. 9th inning. Indians trying to put away this White Sox club that keeps playing hard. Now the set and the pitch. Outside a slider, and you may just roll your eyes when you hear that and say, well, they're supposed to. They're getting paid to. Well, that's true, but watch some of these games in September and you don't always see the effort level that we have seen from the White Sox here in this 4-game homestand that concludes tomorrow. Now the 1-0 pitch. Swung on, belted deep left center field. This one is gone. Tim Anderson's 15th home run, and it's a 2-run game. And boy, right now for the Indians, there is no such thing as an easy win. Brad Hand has given up a 2-run home run to left center. And I mean, there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And it's an 8-6 ball game. The White Sox came roaring back last night when they were trailing in that ball game. And Brad Hand has just not been the same guy since the All-Star break. Here's Jose Abreu, 1 for 4 with a 2-run homer to left. And the pitch is in there, a strike. Eight to 6 Indians now clinging to a 2-run lead in the 9th. The 0-1 pitch. Slider, and he backdoored him for strike 2. Boy, this is a tough way to win when you don't know now what you're going to get from the bullpen. And the Indians have had an awfully good year from an awful lot of people out of that bullpen. But, boy, over the last several weeks, that has changed. And all of a sudden, games are becoming very, very dicey at the end. 2-strike pitch. And Abreu swings and yanks a 2-strike single to left. He went down and got a slider. And that's 3 straight hits for the White Sox off Brad Hand. And now Yoan Moncada could tie the game with 1 swing of the bat. He is 2 for 4 with a couple of singles. He'll swing it right-handed. And the White Sox are showing you some character this week here in Cleveland with how they are continuing to play hard. They're not always playing the game very well from a defensive standpoint. In fact, their defense right now is the reason they're trailing this game. But, boy, they don't quit when it comes to swinging the bats. They're not a team that looks defeated no matter what the score is. The pitch to Moncada, batting right-handed, and he looks at a slider strike. Moncada has 2 singles and 4 trips. He has 22 homers this year, but only 4 from this right side of the plate. 8-6. Indians lead the Sox here in the ninth. 3 straight hits off Hand after he struck out the pinch hitter to start the inning. Moncada swings and misses at a slider down low. 0-2. Brad Hand is ready, and the 2-strike offering. Slider low, 1-2. Nothing but sliders to Moncada. Now the set, the next delivery. And Moncada swings, bangs it toward third, just foul. Boy, that would have been, in all likelihood, an infield hit. Deep at third was Chang. He had to go to the line with the backhand. Moncada runs well. Brad Hand is pretty much sticking with a slider now. His top fastball, 92 miles an hour. Now the 1-2 pitch. And Moncada checks on a slider in the dirt. Ball 2, 2-2. Brad Hand has made 18 pitches. And this inning's far from over. He delivers. And Moncada takes another pitch down and in. That was his best fastball, 93 miles an hour, but it wasn't a strike. Now full count. Wow. Eight to 6 Indians. Abreu at first, 2 down here in the ninth. The payoff pitch. A little inside. Oh, my, the Indians wanted that. Hand and Perez both thought it was strike 3. And Hand never shows any kind of reaction, and he did that time. And Terry Francona hollering at Brendan Miller, and a look at the replay, that was strike 3. Not sure what Brendan Miller was looking at, but he missed it. And now Carl Willis out to the mound to try to settle everybody down. That was definitely strike 3. He didn't get the call, and boy, now this thing gets really dicey. James McCann will be the batter. He is 0 for 3 with a walk. Abreu to second, Moncada to first. 2 down for McCann, who hit the 3-run home run last night. Carl Willis clapping his hands at Brendan Miller, the home plate umpire, saying, make the call. Let's go. A strike is a strike. Now Brad Hand facing a tough customer in James McCann, having a career year. His 16th home run last night tied the ball game. He got that off Carlos Carrasco in that dramatic 8th inning for the White Sox. And now here in the 9th, the Sox have scored 2. They scored 2 in the 8th tonight. So what had looked like a laugher for the Indians, Shane Bieber left with an 8-2 lead. And now a white knuckler. McCann the batter. Hand the set and pitch. And he missed outside, ball one. Nick Whitgren is warming in the Indians bullpen, but by the time he's ready, if he enters this game, the damages will have been done. White Sox have scored 2. They have 2 on with 1 out. And the 1-0 pitch. And the Indians didn't get the call again. Perez held the glove. Maybe inside, maybe low. Looking at the replay. Nope, it was a strike. All of a sudden, Brendan Miller's afraid to raise his right hand. Not sure how you get stuck with minor league umpires in these games in September. That means so much, but so be it. Now the 2-0 pitch. And McCann fouling it upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. Inning started with a pinch hitter, Danny Mendick, striking out. Leori Garcia, an infield single. Tim Anderson, a 2-run homer to left center. Jose Abreu, a single to left. Yoan Moncada, a walk. And Brad Hand is at 23 pitches with 2 on and 1 out. This was a non-save situation. Hand is ready. Here it comes. And the White Sox catcher looks at a strike. 2-2. Now the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a liner, base hit center field. Everybody moves up 1 base. Brad Hand can't put a hitter away with 2 strikes. They may have to get him out of there. Eloy Jimenez will be the batter with the bases loaded, as 5 in a row have reached off Brad Hand. He's just leaving balls on the plate. Here comes Terry Francona. Brad Hand cannot get more than 1 out tonight after the pitching change and didn't get thrown out of the game. You never see a manager question an umpire to the extent Tito did on balls and strikes and not get thrown out of the game. So Brendan Miller either knows he completely missed those calls, or he's scared, and I hate to use the term scared, but this is the question. Why are minor league umpires making calls in games in September? It's not fair to them. It's an 8-6 ball game. The Indians lead the White Sox. It's not fair to the minor league umpire, and it sure as the heck isn't fair to the teams fighting for a playoff spot. You will never see a manager not get thrown out of a game based on the argument Tito just had, because you can't question balls and strikes. Here's Nick Whitgren, bases loaded, 1 down, 8-6 Indians. Eloy Jimenez the batter. The set, the pitch, and it's waved at, strike 1. He chased a pitch up and out of the zone. Nick Whitgren's been scuffling. That's why he's no longer the 8th inning setup man. But now it's do or die, because Brad Hand just didn't have it. And Whitgren makes his 49th appearance. He's 4-1, 3 saves, ERA 2.77, fastball slider. The pitch to the dangerous Jimenez. Swing and a miss. He chased another fastball above the letters. The problem with that is don't miss. You must keep that fastball above the letters, because if you miss by a few inches below that, Jimenez will clear the bases. White Sox have scored 2 in the 9th. Abreu at 3rd, Moncada at 2nd, McCann at 1st, 1 out, 8-6 Indians. The next delivery to Jimenez. High, and that was just so high that there was no reason for Jimenez to even be tempted. Jimenez has destroyed the Indians in this series as he has gone 7 for 12. He's doubled and singled tonight. Bases loaded, 1 out in the White Sox ninth. They have scored 2. They trail the Indians by 2. Infield back, the pitch. I guess outside. Wow, it was borderline again, and the Indians aren't getting any borderline calls this inning. And a look at that pitch on the replay, that definitely was not a strike. The others before Miller certainly missed, but not that time. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Jimenez. Swing and a foul up over our heads off the facing of the upper deck behind home plate. And the count stays 2-2. A strikeout of the pinch hitter Danny Mendick to start the inning. And then Brad Hand allowed the next 5 to get on board. Single, homer, single, walk, single. And now the game rests in the right arm of Nick Whitgren. The former Purdue Boilermaker is ready. Here it comes. Swing and a foul back. Boy, Jimenez is some kind of 2-strike hitter for a rookie. And he doesn't cut down on his swing, folks. He's not looking to just kind of get a little flare. He is wailing away, but he is dangerous with 2 strikes. Indians play him as if he were a left-handed pull hitter, deep but the other way toward right in the outfield. Infield back, double play depth. Santana at first is 35 feet off the line. The pitch. Down low, barely missed. And now the string is out. A full count on Jimenez. Nick Whitgren takes the deep breath. Well, you're better off walking in a run than giving in to this guy. Not that you're not trying to get him out, but the last thing you want to do is give in and give him a pitch in which he can do damage. You walk him, and it's just 1 run. Now the payoff pitch. Swung on, drilled to deep center. Back goes Mercado, a leaping, diving grab. He made it. Everybody scrambles back. Nobody's able to tag or score. An incredible play by Oscar Mercado. How does he do it? Well, folks, if the Indians get to the playoffs, you may look back and remember on September 4th, Oscar Mercado saved the season. We shall see. He was racing back on a dead sprint on a laser, leaping and racing back at the same time to make the catch and falling to the turf. Folks, it doesn't get any better than that. It's as good a catch as you will ever see when you consider everything that's at stake. And now the bases are loaded with 2 down. The White Sox were lucky they didn't get doubled up with the game ending. Nobody thought on the White Sox club that ball could be caught. Now a pinch hitter for Adam Engel. It'll be Ryan Goins, a left-handed batter. Bases still loaded, 2 down, 8-6 Indians. Wow! The set. The pitch to Goins. Swing and a foul back, strike 1. Well, we have been blessed since this park opened up in 1994. to see some of the most astounding catches in the history of the game by a number 7, Kenny Lofton. Even Kenny Lofton would be giving Oscar Mercado a standing ovation for that last effort. Nick Whitgren's ready. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Goins. He swings and misses 0-2. And what gets lost in all of that, the only way you get Eloy Jimenez out if you're the Indians is somebody makes a play that came from the heavens.
And Tom, Jimenez tipped his batting helmet in the direction of Mercado as if to say, you know what, great catch, young man.
Bases loaded, 2 down, Indians 8, White Sox 6 here in the 9th inning. Whitgren 1 strike away from getting out of this improbable mess. He's ready. He lets it fly. A swing and a foul, third base side, lower deck. Will do it again at 0-2. Ryan Goins, .270 batting average in 41 games with the White Sox, 2 homers, 10 ribbies. Bases loaded, 2 down, 2 runs in, 2-run lead for the Tribe in the 9th. Whitgren making sure every breath is correct right now. The 0-2 pitch. Checked on a pitch away, appeal at third, he didn't go. 1-2 the count. Well, the runners now are getting big running leads because everyone is playing back. No one's being held. A ball in the gaps here with 2 down, and the White Sox probably score 3 and take the lead. 1-2 the count on Goins. Bases loaded, 2 down. Cleveland 8, Chicago 6 here in the 9th. The set, and now time called. Twins batting, top of the 9th at Fenway, 6-2 Boston. Whitgren's ready. Now the 1-2 delivery. Swing and a high chopper foul, first base side. Let's pause 10 seconds for a station ID on the Cleveland Clinic Indians Radio Network.
Rob Bailey in the newsroom. Trump administration giving states nearly $2 billion to fight opioid epidemic. More after the game on News Radio WTAM 1100 Cleveland.
Tom Hamilton, Jim Rosenhaus, Stephanie Hagel, Brian Motze, and what's left of this crowd almost in unison, holding their breath as Nick Whitgren comes to a set position with the Indians. On top 8-6, but the bases loaded, 2 down in this White Sox 9th inning. The 1-2 pitch from Whitgren to Goins. High, ball 2, 2-2. Yomer Sanchez waits on deck. Catcher Roberto Perez taking the ball to the mound. Brad Hand started this inning. It was 8-4 Indians. He struck out the pinch hitter, Danny Mendick. Then Leori Garcia had an infield single. Tim Anderson a 2-run blast to left center. Jose Abreu a single. Yoan Moncada a walk. James McCann single to load the bases with 1 out. And that was all for Brad Hand. Nick Whitgren got the count to 3-2, and Eloy Jimenez blasted a heat-seeking missile to deep center on a line, and somehow Oscar Mercado racing back on a dead sprint, leaping at the last moment to catch it with his back to home plate, falling to the ground and hanging on for the second out. Now the 2-2 to Goins. Swing and a miss. Ball game. Well, folks, it's September, and this is baseball at its finest. But if you have a weak ticker, man, turn the radio off. What a way to end this one. And a catch that Oscar Mercado made that may never be topped by Oscar Mercado throughout the rest of his career. And who knows, it might be a catch we someday look